West Coast. Hey, everybody. I am your host, Felipe, and you're listening to well, I don't know. I haven't really got a name for this. It's usually the Total Basis podcast, but we're talking basketball today. Was it total? I think somebody told me we should use total hoops or total buckets. That's my guest for tonight, James Pinos. James, how you doing tonight? And number two, what should this show be called?
Total hoops. I don't know, the 3-point barrage or something with long distance.
No, I like to keep it total, total
Total.
bases. I think the football one is called total yards.
Total yards. Okay.
So if I had a hockey one, it'd be total ice time, I
Total
guess.
buckets.
Total buckets. I kind of like total buckets. Total buckets. Other than that, how you feeling tonight?
Good, good. It's a Monday, so work was a challenge, but we're off at work finally.
But were the empanadas good though? You said you were making empanadas before the
Yeah,
show
we got
started.
I got talked into a kind of like a potluck thing tomorrow. They decided to do last minute, and I got volunteered to make my empanadas that everyone enjoyed last time
Nice.
at the last minute. So I was trying to whip them up before we came out.
Well, I'm glad that it worked out in your favor this schedule. So, but without further ado, let's give the people what they want. It's not a Felipe podcast if there's no spreadsheet involved. So there's a spreadsheet. This is the 2024-25 Basketball Life Draft results. Now, for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure 99% of the audience does not know. James and I are part of a fantasy basketball league, and we go. How would you describe it? I don't know how else to describe it. It's revolving door keepers. Like we start at 0 1 year. Next year we keep one player. The following year we keep two players. The following year we keep three players. And by the fourth or fifth year we go back to zero and start over again. So the first cycle of keepers, I was fortunate enough to have Luka Doncic. Unfortunately, I got nothing to show for it in terms of championships. A lot of second place finishes, but no championships. So of course,
Just like
in
Luca.
this, go ahead.
Just like Luca.
Just like real Luka, yeah, with or without Kyrie, he's not gonna win anytime soon. But as James is now experiencing, because I think were you here at the very beginning, James, or are you kind of a late
Uh,
invitee to this league? I
I
forgot
think
which.
I replaced somebody in like the second year or something during that first cycle because I had someone else's keepers and stuff.
That okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, now you're experiencing your first cycle of the keepers. Last year you got to draft a fresh new basketball team, and this year you got to get a keeper that you selected for the first time in this league. How does that feel? Who did you end up keeping? I forgot.
I kept Sabonis.
Domantas Sabonis, good choice. Why did you keep him over others that you might have
Well, to
considered?
me it was between him and Brunson. But there's a lot, and I'm a Knicks fan, so it was a hard decision to make, honestly.
Yeah,
But I felt like there was more going to be more high quality point guards available early on. And Sabonis is just someone who I can plug into either the power forward or center spot, and he's just a machine. He's never hurt. So, it's just that he carried he carried him and Brunson basically carried my team last year. I just
he,
thought Brunson would be someone who I could more easily replace
right.
in that first round than I would be able to replace Sabonis because there are a lot of bigs that produce like Sabonis, but a lot of them have injury concerns every year.
Like, oh, I don't know, Joel Embiid.
Embiid, Anthony Davis,
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
those are all guys that I figured would have been available around the 11th spot. If I had kept Brunson, but those are guys who wouldn't be available for when I wanted them for the playoffs.
Well, as you can see there, everybody kept one player. I kept Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Leon, who has the first pick overall. I think, yeah, his first player, his kept player, I should say, is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's gonna pair Giannis with Ja Morant, number one pick overall. I see that Morant is projected to get 49.2 fantasy points, which I did not see that one coming in terms of the production that is
Yeah,
being
I,
projected
I,
upon John Morant. Do you buy or sell 49 points out of John Morant this year per game?
I don't see 49 points. I mean, they've got options. They've got Bane, who has produced every year.
Yeah.
Just like Morant when healthy. Jaren Jackson. It's not like it's a complete one man show there. And again, the question with Morant is, will when or will he be around? He's
Yeah, make sure that get him off social media, get him off.
he gets injured, he gets suspended.
He gets mentioned in hip hop beefs, most notably Drake this
Uh,
past spring. That's never a good sign when you're being mentioned in the middle of the what's supposed to be the greatest back and forth in hip hop history. Ja Morant is gets mentioned, so that can't be a good thing. So yeah, but Leon is not one. I don't think there's a filter on Leon. I don't think there's any risk aversion to the guy. He just picks whomever and he'll deal with the
Leon loves to
consequences later.
draft guys with injury history, whether it's early or late in the draft.
It's not even injury history. It's baggage. Like John
Injury
Morant comes with
baggage, yeah,
baggage. Yeah. He don't
he
care.
does. And
And
I've seen him in several different leagues, and he either does extremely well depending on his injury luck, or he does extremely bad. There's like no in between because
no,
it's all a matter of if his team survives.
that is definitely true. I mean, he's won a couple of championships in this league already. But as you can see, he comes back and now he's the number one pick overall
Right.
this
So
year.
it's like
So
high risk, high reward.
yeah, yeah, as you get both sides of the spectrum. I think for him this year, I think he benefited from getting that first pick overall. I mean, you got Giannis, now John Morant. We get to the number two pick, and we're not going to spend too much time on all the picks, but the Jalen Brunson was interesting. I thought that was kind of a reach, and I know Harry, it's Harry and Joe, they're both sharing this team this season, but Harry, he's a Knicks fan, so that's
Mhm.
what we need. We need more Knicks fans in this league. But he paired up Jason Tatum. I believe that was his pick, his keeper. Jason Tatum with Jalen Brunson. And I thought that was kind of a reach, but I'm seeing that the projected points are 43.1, which puts him on up there with a lot of these other players that you see on the list. But
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I think what he's thinking is that, well, if assists are worth 2 points each, why not draft the ball distributor, the true point guard, the true floor
Right.
general, and rack up points that way. But man, you give me a chance to get Anthony Edwards or Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not even looking at Jalen Brunson's direction. I mean, this is a homer pick just because he's a Knicks fan, but this is taking it to another level. Am I too harsh here, James, or is this the right pick here
Honestly,
at number two?
like I said, I almost kept Brunson only because I mean I had a little bit of concern that his scoring might dip a little bit, but
That's the other concern, yeah.
his options, because like you were saying, assists are worth 2 points. He's tremendously surrounded by scoring now. Guys that can shoot and light it up. So his assist numbers should go up. You're gonna have guys like OG and Mikal on the wings. Now
Yeah,
you've got a center who can open up the lane more for him because before on the pick and rolls, you had two centers who had to roll. There was no jump shot option.
yeah,
When Brunson go and you've already seen it in the preseason, when Brunson goes to the basket on that pick and roll now, they can't leave Cat out there. So he's getting to the rim. He's not even having to stop for that little floater most of the time because the center can't leave Cat at the 3 point line, shooting 40% out there.
yeah.
So, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but he could get a lot of assists. The scoring might even stay the same. You don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't think 43 is out of line.
Yeah.
But it'll be in that range because
But
whether it be assists or points, he's got a lot of options this year.
yeah, it's all true what you said about Jalen
Personally, at that
Brunson. Go ahead.
spot, I don't think I would have passed on Anthony Edwards.
That's what I'm saying.
Halliburton, I don't know. He's in fantasy, I might like him a little bit more in fantasy than in reality, but
Well, it is a fantasy basketball
right,
episode
right, and
here, so
sometimes when you make that decision, it's like it's hard sometimes to make those decisions because some guys have, like you said, baggage and this or that,
yeah.
but you
I'm,
got to make that decision.
but yeah, if I had the if I had a top two pick, even if I'm Leon's team, if I have a top two pick, it's between these two for me: Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton.
See,
I
and
might have
again,
to flip a
in a
coin.
keeper league,
Yeah, and you
you
get to
keep
keep
two
two of
guys
them
next
next year.
year.
Yeah,
I'm probably taking Anthony Edwards.
that's all I'm saying.
Anthony Edwards. Okay, if I had the number one pick here, it would have been Anthony Edwards,
Same. Yeah,
not Morant. Anthony Edwards is not hurt. He doesn't have that extra baggage. Cat just got traded,
yeah,
so Anthony Edwards is definitely the number one focus on that offense now.
yeah. Plus, he has the skill set and the physical tools to be that guy. To be you basically, yeah,
I've said to
Anthony.
people, and I don't give out, I don't throw around the name Felipe, and you're from Chicago,
Yes.
but Anthony Edwards to me is the closest thing I've seen athletically to Jordan.
Oh
Now he's
shit.
not proved it yet, the killer instinct thing, the skill, but
Yeah.
athletically, like that's who he reminds me of every time he goes up.
It's high
That
praise.
jump shot.
I thought you were gonna tell me Derrick Rose. Like, wait, isn't that what John
No,
Morant is
no,
for? I
no,
thought John Morant was Derrick Rose
no.
without the knee injuries.
Injury wise or off the court, Felipe?
Oh, gee. Well, it's probably the same thing. I mean, Derrick Rose has a sketchy off the
That's
court,
what,
but we don't talk about that because he's a saint to a lot of people. So
Hey,
nothing.
listen, Derrick Rose turns a lot of stuff around,
Good for
but
him. I
and
don't
I hope
forget.
Morant does the same thing because you never want to see someone stumble into stupidity,
I mean, good for them, but I don't forget, man. I don't forget.
or
That's why
tear
I
their
read.
Achilles, or randomly tear their Achilles and the crowd boo them.
Moving on, Scotty Barnes was kind of a question mark here. He goes to Mike Harvey's team, and shame on me, I don't. Maybe I'll trigger my memory if I look at the other screen and look at the roster grid. I guess he would have kept. Well, Luka Doncic, right? So Luka Doncic with Scotty Barnes. But I'm not excited about this one. I know it's a keeper league, but Scotty Barnes is not. He does not come off as a guy that you need to draft in the first round of a one-player keeper league. Am I being too harsh here, James, or is that the way you see it too? What do you think?
I was happy for the pick because I didn't want Barnes. Uh, but again, at that spot, I didn't think so either. I mean, if you're just looking at the projected fantasy points, he's there's two guys on this first round that are projected below 40, and he's one of them.
Yeah, I got the
Just
other guy.
slightly, but
Yeah,
to me, Barnes is not proven he could shoot the ball consistently.
yeah,
And for, a number one, like you said, a number one guy in the first round of this keeper league, I mean, you definitely want somebody that's going to give you the consistent points. And
yeah.
he's just as likely to give you a triple double as, the Draymond single double and single triple
That
when you
yeah.
call it.
Now he's the other side. He's a like the Jalen Brunson like distributor. He could be that guy. I know I've seen him do it. He's been on my team. That's the
Hmm.
allure of having a Scotty Barnes. But he could be so damn inconsistent sometimes too. It really is frustrating.
You know who he reminds me of
No?
at this stage of his career? He's
No.
young Julius Randle
Oh my God.
before the jump shot. Remember when Julius couldn't hit the side of a house his first like 2, 3 years?
Yeah, yeah, with the
That
Lakers. Yeah.
that's he's got ball skills. He
Yeah.
can distribute. He'll rebound. But until he starts hitting that shot consistently, no one's gonna come up and play him out there.
Yeah, and the other problem is that now he has Emmanuel quickly on the team. He's gonna need the ball. RJ Barrett, he's definitely gonna need the ball. I,
Hmm.
and not to say that Scotty Barnes is not going to be able to distribute to those guys, but I mean those guys they need the ball in their hands just to be productive. You can probably kick it out to RJ Barrett, but no, from my understanding, both of those guys required to have the ball in their hands, but so does Scotty Barnes. How can you be a ball distributor without the ball? But then you got these other two guys who could probably create on their own without any assistance. So it's going to be an interesting way to see how Toronto manages this new three-headed monster they got going on the perimeter. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't think Scotty Barnes was a solid pick here. I mean, you got Damian Lillard still available, Kevin Durant, Karl Anthony Towns. That's the other guy below 40, even though he's supposed to be, what, 1.5 points per game lower than Scotty Barnes. I
Hmm.
think you can make a case that Cat would have been a worthier pick in that spot than
I
Scotty
mean, I'm not
Barnes.
sure how quickly they updated, these things based on the trade. Because one of the things
No,
that I'll say, Karl Anthony Towns, I expect him to rebound more this year.
I printed out the spreadsheet. Oh, I printed it. I didn't print out. We don't print out anything. I mean, that's a
Hmm.
Stone Age. But I downloaded the draft results this morning, I believe. It was this morning.
Okay.
So it pretty as far as I'm concerned, they're up to date. Now, my only question is, are they different than the other um, projections that they normally have going here on the website over at CBS Sports? So I'm trying to figure that out right now on the other
Right.
screen. But yeah, I mean, Devin Booker would have been a better pick than Scotty Barnes, in my humble opinion. Devin
Now,
Booker also,
are these like the basic projections, or do they project based on what your league rules are?
It has to be what the league rules are. Otherwise,
Yeah. Because I
why
know
am I paying for this
some
website?
sites don't do that. And I remember CBS does that.
I was gonna say, well, then why am I paying for all this money, for this website? Sure, right? But let's see. I'm on the other screen, and of course, I need projections, not year to date. We haven't had a game yet. Tomorrow is the day. Yeah, Carl Anthony Towns now he's at 36.44 fantasy points per game. So the bet is when you take these players, are you going to take the over or under? Just like anything. Do you think Carl Anthony Towns is going to go over 37.8 points? I say yes.
I say yes also.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I'm banking
to
on.
me, he's gonna get to rebound more this year. Because he's not gonna be the one on the ball constantly.
Right.
If you watch again, because I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm watching the preseason games. He's on those offensive boards a lot now.
Yeah.
Brunson's shooting, the other guys are shooting. His assist numbers, I think, are gonna go up.
Yeah.
But like I said, to me, that he's an easy 40. You know,
And
I would definitely take an over on 36.
because I'll be honest, man, I was actually looking at Devin Booker, and the only thing that stopped me from getting Devin Booker is I already have a guard. I have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't need another guard. And you just said it yourself. You got Domantas Sabonis on your team because finding big men in this league is hard to find. It really is. I've been paying the price for it the last few years of not what do you call it? Putting a significance on those positions, the power forward and center positions, thinking I'll just find some out of miracles as the year
Yeah,
goes on, and
and
they're very hard to replace.
with the teams that I've drafted, I mean, those guys who get you offensive rebounds, those are big points.
Yeah, because the offensive rebounds are bonus points for
Yep.
rebounders. So,
It's
but
offensive rebounds and assists are two categories that a lot of people I think overlook.
yeah,
Everyone's
and
looking at points, and points fluctuate a lot, but
yeah.
those guys who are on the boards and those guys who are dishing, getting you 8 to 10 assists every night, that's money.
And the guys who are on the boards, not everybody can do it consistently or
Hmm.
for longer playing time because there's plenty of literal centers out there. But some of those guys don't even play more than half a game. If they get you 25 minutes, you're like jumping for joy because they got to 25 minutes. But honestly, you'll be lucky if they get over 20 sometimes. That's
Yeah.
how unpredictable. So when I saw Carl
At
Anthony
the beginning
Towns,
of the year last year, I had Mitchell Robinson
oh,
before he got
jeez.
hurt.
Yeah.
All right. And he was averaging like 25 to 28 minutes a game.
Yeah.
But because of his offensive rebounding, I was getting like 30.
Yeah, that's a good one. And he's obviously earned the 28 minutes per game. Thibodeau is not just giving minutes away to anybody, as you know. He'll ride the starters and some of the primary bench guys until they can't walk anymore. He doesn't care. But yeah, the fact that Mitchell Robinson was able to get 28 minutes is a miracle in itself. Now, I'll give you a little secret about Karl Anthony Towns. The reason I kind of selected him is number one, he's going back. Tibbs is coaching him again. I
Hmm.
read a blurb saying that his best productive years were under Thibodeau. So I'm excited
Yep.
for that. But number two, I'll be honest, and this is why I hate doing the eye test. I actually watched a few minutes of a Knicks preseason game
Hmm.
and I was hooked. Like, God, he looks so good. Wouldn't that be crazy if I ended up with him on my team? And I wasn't considering him. I was looking at Devin Booker. Who else is available?
I was surprised you took him, honestly.
Yeah, because I was, oh yeah, the other guy I was looking at was
I thought you were gonna take Booker. I
the other
did.
guy I was looking at was maybe I was maybe 10% chance of getting James Harden. But this Paulo Banchero, that was the guy I was really, really looking at. Like
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, that'd be looking cool if I pair SGA with Paulo Banchero on the same team. And now I got a super young studded team. While everybody's like getting some of the old favorites. I got
See,
the
that was the
inside
thing.
track on that.
I had Sabonis. I took to me who I thought, again, Curry, no matter what, Curry's gonna shoot until he's like 95.
Right.
So he's gonna give me the points. Clay's gone. He's definitely getting his shots. And then, at the beginning of the second round, I was like, you know what? I need someone who's both good and long term. They can keep her for next year. And I'm looking, and I was like, it's got to be Banchero. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gotten better his first 2 years. He's the focus there. He's just got all the elements to me.
Well, I was hoping to get Banchero on the turn, but I should have known better with you, Dave, EJ, Jacob. I think we pretty after this draft and Alex as well on the other side of things. I think after this draft we realized that we're on the same wavelength when it comes to how we want to build our teams in fantasy basketball, and we all hate
Yeah.
each other for it because it's way too similar. But I was hoping I can get Banchero back, and that should have been my bad omen for the rest of the way this draft was going to go.
Yeah, I see. Like I knew Dave was going to take Harden
Yeah,
based
and
on some
LeBron
stuff
James.
last year in comments, and I know he likes LeBron. So I was like, I called those two picks in my mind. When I took Curry, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take Curry. I said, then I can come back and get Banchero. And that one worked out good there. The rest of the draft,
Yeah. Dave pairs up LeBron James and James Harden. He should just rename his team LeBron James Harden, but he pairs those two guys up with Victor Wembanyama.
hmm.
That's and then LeBron James qualifies at center. Well, why didn't you pick LeBron James at center instead of Karl Anthony Towns? Why didn't anybody pick LeBron James before the 12th pick overall? What do you think? This is becoming a recurring theme ever since the league started. I don't think I've ever seen LeBron James get drafted in the top five, despite the fact that in real life basketball, quote unquote, LeBron James is still considered one of the best, if not the very best player on the planet.
He LeBron is at that interesting point to me in drafts where he's kind of like the fantasy football running back.
Yeah, yeah,
He's great, but at some point, Father Time is gonna bitch slap him. The question
yeah,
is it gonna be this year? Is it gonna be next year? I mean, we all seen it with every player. I mean, time is undefeated.
yeah.
He's been phenomenal. You can't downplay the fact that, last year was, still shocking. They keep talking about he's gonna slow down at some point. He was hanging on to play with his kid.
Right.
How motivated is he actually? I don't know. I mean, competitive wise, I don't think he's non going to be non-competitive. I just don't know at some point, at what point are his legs finally going to be like, you're old.
At one point, is the NBA really going to drug test him? That's the real question.
Uh,
Um, what?
you know, I don't know.
We don't talk about Bruno? What? So James Harden, that was an interesting pick, and I was considering him, but nah, it's like been there, done that. And like I said, the reason I went with Cat was for all those reasons. Back with Thibodeau, he looked great in that one stretch that I saw in preseason. I mean, he looked really good. And I'm like,
Mhm.
fudge, man, if he can just go back to being a true center on my team, that's what I want.
Well, I
But
don't know if
yeah,
you remember last year before the draft, we were talking about the trade for
which one?
Gobert.
Ah, yes,
And I was one of the people that was like, this is stupid
I didn't like it either.
because you're moving Towns out to the four spot and he can't defend the four spot consistently.
Hmm.
This is in the 80s and the 90s where power forwards were these big lumbering dudes. Most teams have an athletic four, and a lot of teams it's basically an oversized three. And he was lost out there defensively. And some of his best moments came when Gobert would be sitting and he would be playing the five
Hmm.
because that's just where he belongs. His advantage is at the five with his repertoire and his shot. He can cause problems. At the four, there are guys that can keep up with him.
Right. All good points, but hopefully he does, for my sake, he does find that resurrected uh portion of his career with the Knicks, which
You know,
is
he
really an ugly thing for
Felipe,
me to
the,
say.
the key factor that people don't understand is in Minnesota, he couldn't get no mofongo. He's back in New York, man.
Yeah, and I know how zesty he can be for sure.
Yeah,
He's gonna like his
mofongo power, bro.
mofongo power.
Cano, listen, Robinson Cano went to Seattle. He had to go on steroids because he had no mofongo.
Yeah, yeah. And well, he got busted for furosemide, which is the water pill, but we know what he was doing. So again, I was hoping to get Banchero. I wasn't gonna happen. Okay, well, I still got Alperen Sengun, Jalen Brown. Wrong. Every time I thought of somebody, it's like you guys were reading my mind. Like those guys were gone. So I had a choice between Bam Adebayo and the Aaron Fox. But again, I don't want to get two point guards. I went with the big man. Could I have gone with Chet Holmgren or maybe some other center? Who would be the other centers out here? Let me see here. Zion Williamson, Nikola Vucevic, Jarrett Allen, Rudy Gobert. I ask you, Mr. James Pinos, did I make the right decision getting Bam Adebayo with my second round pick here over some of those centers I
Let me
just
tell you,
listed?
I was considering Chet. I really like him. I think his upside is great.
Yeah.
I liked Paulo a bit better, so and I was happy that he was there. But I personally I kind of like Chet more than Bam.
Mhm.
Bam is still an undersized center. I don't know. He doesn't do it for me. I don't know what's gonna happen on that team this year either. I
Oh,
mean,
well, that's the thing. We know what Bam's role is. He's a center. He's
mhm.
the the double double guy. He's gonna get you rebounds. He's gonna get you points. He's built like a rock. He doesn't complain. He's not a diva. I love it. I've had Bam the last couple of years, and I just love his game. Is there limited potential? Yeah, probably. And maybe I should have just.
I see. To me, like you're saying, he's gonna give you what he's gonna give you at this point.
I know what I'm getting, is
Some,
what I'm
I
saying.
don't
Yeah,
think he's gonna expand upon it.
yeah,
Like I don't see a growing skill set. Where with Chet, now you look at what's projected, 37, and Chet's 35.
yeah.
If at the end of the year I told you Chet ended up at 40, would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be
Shocked?
surprised. No, no, no.
That's where I would have been thinking there, especially again because we're talking about a keeper, possibly your
Yeah,
second, possibly someone who might be your second keeper next year.
yeah. And maybe Zion would have been the way to go if I want to take that risk. But again, for my first, second, and third round picks, I want someone a little bit more safeguarded, someone more
Yeah,
stable.
I had that little thing in my head that kept saying, is Zion finally going to stop eating 400 Big Macs this year?
Burger Kings. I thought he was the king of Burger King.
I don't even know, I don't think there's a fast food he would turn down,
There's
uh,
not an adult film star he would turn down, apparently.
well, I
So
mean,
he does a little bit of everything.
that's most of the NBA guys.
Well, no, some of the NBA guys, they just go after the Instagram girls, the TikTok girls. They fly them in from wherever. They,
Zion is just, it's
they
so sad. He's
share.
so talented.
People are saying this is the year, though. This might be the year.
He looks in phenomenal shape also, from what
Yeah.
I've seen. It's just a matter of will he be able to stay healthy? Because last year he looked great until he got hurt.
Yeah, and now it's just gonna finish up with De'Aaron Fox. I love De'Aaron Fox, but like I said, I already got SGA. Both of
Yeah.
those guys, I think they only qualify at point guard, so I don't need two point guards. I need
I mean, you could have gone
big
either
man.
way at that point
Ah,
because you had Cat, so you had a small and a big, so it's kind of like,
I've done that before, man. Like I said, I'm still traumatized when I did
does
go with
SGA
guard
not
heavy.
qualify at shooting guard? Is he just qualified at point guard?
I believe he's just
I
a
thought
point
SGA was
guard.
had
Let me
both,
see.
unless they changed, or last year he had both. Maybe I don't know if
Well,
they
either
changed it
way,
this year.
I've built teams around strong. Yeah, it's both, by the way. I've built teams around strong guard play, regardless of position, point guard or
Hmm.
shooting guard. And I'm telling you, man, those centers, if you don't have them, they go by really fast and they're very hard to replace.
Oh
And
yeah.
maybe, like I said, there were better centers like Chet Holmgren. Maybe I should have gone with him. Zion, maybe that was worth the risk. Um, but
I also try and look for like guys who have center power forward eligibility.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because when you get into that part of the season where guys are getting injured,
yeah.
it's easier for you to move guys around and and still be able to play your best lineup regardless of position.
Gun to your head, who is the best guard here of these four that I just highlighted? And for those who can't see, the highlighted ones are Tyrese Maxey, Josh Giddey, LaMelo Ball, and Kyrie Irving. Who got the better guard there?
Out of those four, I like Maxi the best.
Hmm.
It would be Maxi, Irving, LaMelo, Giddey.
Yeah, I see. I don't know what to expect from Kyrie Irving, but I think I would put.
I mean, Kyrie's gonna score,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and paired with Luca, he's not the number one, but he's definitely the number two there. They don't have a
yeah.
lot of scoring options.
I
So
definitely like the pick that Leon did, especially going back to back with Kyrie Irving and Zion Williamson. And I think that's when I said this is classic Leon, and I hope
yeah.
Leon didn't take it as an insult, but that was me trying to commend the guy, give him his flowers, as they say, because this is typical. This is classic Leon, and there's a reason why he keeps winning championships because he doesn't see risk. He just sees, can you ball or not?
Mhm.
And I wish I had that in me, but I don't. I in the first 3 rounds I got Cat and Bam Adebayo, and I don't know what to expect from them. I just know that they're safe picks because they're not gonna tell me how the Earth is flat. Or no, I take it back. I didn't say that, even though I did say it. I didn't mean to say that. Don't get vaccinated. So anyway, that's
I mean, he's
I.
in the perfect state right now, you know.
Oh yeah, they love him in Texas for sure. Well, anyway, that's gonna be my downfall. Did I make the right decision going with Bam instead of De'Aaron? We'll find out. Definitely didn't want to. Well, aside from Chet, I didn't wasn't too interested in a lot of those guys there in the second round. We get to the third round. There's Zion, there's Jimmy, Nikola Vucevic, Laurie Markkinen. Oh yeah, the other thing, I had another one for you. Of these four big men, Nikola Vucevic, Laurie Markkinen, Jarrett Allen, Rudy Gobert, who got the best of that bunch there?
I'm a big marketing guy,
Yeah.
you know, and you know he's got a role there, number one, and he's also that guy that might get traded to a really good team at some point.
Well, Utah finally has some sort of franchise player, and they're gonna trade him away. So that's typical Utah there. I couldn't be, and he's not there yet. But between Darius Garland and CJ McCollum, I did not know what to make of them in terms of like heads or tails or what their
Darius
role was
Garland
gonna
and
be.
who?
Darius Garland and CJ McCollum, I feel like, well, CJ McCollum's in much deeper trouble than Darius Garland just because there's more talent than New Orleans. But for Darius Garland, I never know what to expect
I don't
from the
know.
Cavaliers and what Garland's role is going to be. What do you think?
Again, he's the distributor, but Mitchell is on the ball a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Garland
That's why
is
I'm
not a
asking.
true like scorer. He's you know he can be very inconsistent shooting wise. So to me that's a tough one that early to me. Again, this was a weird round to me. I mean, because I
Yeah,
understand. I mean, some of these guys I assume took centers because they didn't have any up until this point in the draft.
that's why I went with Cat and Bam. Cat and
But
Bam.
you know
That's
you
going to be
got
my
Allen,
name.
right? You know you got
Cat
Allen
and
and
Bam.
Gobert going in the middle of this round.
Yeah.
I thought you know to me Garland I would have taken Cunningham over Garland. Miles Bridges was a weird pick this early. I don't know.
Jacob, maybe Jacob thought he was picking Mikal Bridges. I don't
Mikal
know.
Bridges?
I don't know. I wish he was here to
He
tell
he
us.
he unhomered his pick. I don't know.
Well, Garland is the starting point guard for the Cavaliers, but it seems like it's point guard with a small PG on it because Donovan Mitchell's gonna just take over. But yeah, I saw Kate Cunningham available this late, and I couldn't. I was like
Oh,
Jerry Krause
I
at the
I
ninth.
I knew you were picking that. The minute that Garland went off the board, I'm like, oh, I was like, Felipe is in heaven right now.
Oh, I was because I was considering quickly if Cunningham was picked or even Paul
Hmm.
George. Who else was there? Maybe Jalen Williams.
I
But
was honestly, I was hoping to get quickly. I was expecting to get quickly. I didn't think I would get Jamal Murray.
yeah, either way, you would have come out
Yeah,
winning here
I
because
didn't think I was going to get Jamal Murray. I've had him in different leagues for a couple of years. I love Jamal. Uh, you know, he's just he's consistent. He's got the shot. You know, now that he's after he came off of that injury and he got healthy, he's been lighting it up again.
But let me go back to the Kate Cunningham though. I was basically like Jerry Cross at the what was it? The 99. Yeah, it was a 99 lottery. Like, oh my pennies. I got my pennies in my palm of my hand. Yes. I got my guy. So there's no excuse. This is the year for Kate Cunningham. It has to be. He has more talent than ever before. He is the focal point of that team. They're not drafting anybody to replace him. It seems like the Pistons are all in on this guy.
Hmm.
And this guy, when he's on his A game, easily 50 fantasy points per game. Easily.
Hmm.
Like borderline keeper for next season.
So
So
again,
I'm
he's a great all round. You know, he distributes. When his shot's on, you can't guard him because then you've got to come up and he'll go by you and he'll distribute if you come.
yeah.
Uh,
So I'm excited there. Let's move on to the fourth round. Like you said, you got Jamal Murray in the third round, and you paired up Jamal Murray with Julius Randle. Well, before we get to Julius Randle, Jalen Johnson projected to get 24.6 fantasy points per game, but Dave decided that he was gonna pull the trigger on him and get him regardless of projections in typical Dave fashion. And Jalen Johnson, he just got paid, right? Didn't he just get a gargantuan contract lately or recently, I should
Everyone got
say?
a gargantuan contract apparently
Well,
today, so I'm not sure what's going on out there.
I thought him specifically got one, and people were happy about it. But Jalen Johnson, This name just kind of snuck up on me. He was not in any of my mock drafts. He was nowhere in my radar. I didn't know what to make of him, so he was on my do not draft list because I just don't know much about him. Do you
He
know
was
much about
someone
him?
that I thought I was gonna get in like the eighth or ninth round if he was around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of upside, but I don't think he needed to take him in the fourth round. I think he easily could have gotten him on the way back. I don't think anyone was looking at him anywhere near this early.
I was
Um,
shocked, but Dave must know
this to
something.
me at this point in the draft would be the biggest reach.
Hmm.
Because to me, I think he could have got him easily when they came back around to him. I don't think anyone would have. I don't see it. Look at his projected points and look at everything around.
Yeah. Well, Dave won the championship last year, and he
Hmm.
did it by not playing it too safe all the time. But I mean, when you got, I mean, yeah, you can make an argument that Julius Randle might be too risky at this point for Dave. Jalen Williams definitely would have been someone that was. I mean, if you're looking for someone young and by the name of Jalen, Jalen Williams would have been the correct Jalen to go with.
Yeah.
Not a, but yeah, I was worried about the Evan Mobley pick that I made here in the fourth round because I thought you were gonna get him. So I know you were always a big fan of his. But you went with Julius
I like
Randle.
Mobley. I liked Mobley coming out, but he's been disappointing.
You think so, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all I see is a guy that can play a center
Mo
eligible
see,
guy.
and I
What?
think, let me
What?
tell you, I think Mobley would be better off if Jared Allen was not on that team and he was
Yeah,
actually at the center.
it's kind of the cat and mouse thing. Oh,
Yeah,
cat and Gobert thing. Sorry, cat and Gobert.
absolutely.
But all I see from Mobley is a guy that can play close to 30 minutes from the center position, center eligible player that can play 30, 31, 32 minutes a game. And the more minutes you play, the more chances you increase of being productive, getting double doubles. I could totally see him getting 15 points, 10 rebounds, and a block. And oh, by the way, he's improved every single year that he's been in the league. And um, all he does is produce and he puts up big numbers, not monster numbers, but big enough numbers. And again, he qualifies at center. I'll say this, he's definitely a better pick than the Miles Turner pick that Jacob did. I could not believe he picked Miles Turner over Evan Mobley. Uh, I've had Miles Turner before. I'm not a fan.
Honestly, listen, the last two Jacob picks, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
better. I
you
figured you
went
might know
Miles
something.
Bridges and then Miles Turner.
I figure you might know something. I mean, you Knick fans all stick together. You all have the same feathers and shit. So I
Listen,
figure you might know something.
I was completely shocked here.
Let's move on then to the. We're still in the fourth round, and this is one of the questions I had for you. As you see, there's a certain theme here, but there was a Brandon Ingram, R.J. Barrett, Desmond Bain, Franz Wagner, who I was considering R.J. Barrett, but oh wait, no, I was considering both Ingram and Barrett in the event that you would have gotten Mobley. But
Mhm.
out of these four players I just mentioned, who was the best pick in this round?
I mean, Ingram is the most proven one,
Sure. Yes.
but he seems to keep getting hurt recently.
That is a question
Um,
mark. Yep.
I mean, if I had to choose between these four players, I would have I like Barrett and Bain.
Mm.
Franz is someone who I don't know. I really like him. Basketball wise, I really like him. Fantasy wise, he's a little bit inconsistent. I think Barrett and Bain have bigger roles at this point than he does.
Yeah, I think the problem with France is that there's too many ball handlers on that Magic team,
There's a lot of
ironically
ball
enough.
handlers, and he's not the focal point.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
He's not even the full. They just, they've got Suggs, they've got him, they've got Banchero.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. They spread the ball around a lot. The one that's the main focus is Banchero. But you don't know what consistency wise is going to be night in, night out. I've had Ingram, and like I said, he gives you great numbers. But it just seems like he keeps getting hurt, and then every now and then he goes into like this weird funk. There was like a 3 or 4 week period last year where he just like killed me. Besides him being injured for like a month.
Yeah. And the Desmond Bain issue is that John Morant is back. We got spoiled. We took a close look at what Desmond Bain would look like without John Morant. And I
Hmm.
think it's safe to say that we all love what we saw. But now that Morant is back, I don't know what to make of Bain. I think if this was a categories league, Desmond Bain would be a no-brainer. But yeah, I was if you would have ended up with Mobley, I would have considered Brandon Ingram or RJ Barrett, and I don't know. I would have had
I
to
think
flip a
Bane
coin.
doesn't lose a lot with Morant in because he's very happy to shoot the ball off of Morant's passing.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
But
from
there's nobody else that's going to score on that team.
and that's all I'm saying is that yeah, it works well in real life and especially in a categories league if we were doing categories instead of fantasy point.
Mhm.
But in fantasy point, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if like
You
that
know, because if you look, if
36.9.
you're looking at, teams, everyone's always, there are three, the triangle. It's
Yeah.
him, Bane, it's Morant, Bane, and Jackson. Jackson's
Okay.
not a high volume scorer. He's the rebounder defender. Bane and Morant are the ones who we're gonna need to fill it up every night.
Right. Well, I did not want to deal with that. Like I said, if it was a categories league, this would have been a slam dunk. But in a points league, 36.9, I'll take the
And
oh, what is it called?
To me,
I
RJ has a lot of upside going to Toronto. They wanted him there. He's Canadian. They want to make him, the guy.
right.
For
And I
this.
I meant to say I'll take the under on the 36.9 that Desmond Bane is supposed to be projected to get. I couldn't think of it. What was it? Uppers, downers? No, it's what is it called again? I forgot already. Over under, over under, over under, over
Under.
under. I'll take the under. But yeah, I definitely was considering RJ Barrett here as well in this spot. But a lot of good options. But I'm glad I got Mobley and not those other guys. And then this draft ends with Fred VanVleet, Kawhi Leonard, and Cameron Thomas. And boy, this sucks for poor Harry and Joe, as they thought they were gonna get slick. Well, they've been drafting nothing but perimeter players, is what I noticed.
Hmm.
And even in the next one, they got Zach LaVine. So, but at least Zach seems to be healthy. Kawhi Leonard is never healthy. Oh, by the way, before I bury the lead here, Leon going back to back Brooklyn Nets. So remember when we said that he has no risk aversion whatsoever? He
Hmm.
could have used some risk aversion here, or am I not? Am I downgrading the Brooklyn Nets too much here on these
Uh,
back to back picks?
I mean, again, Cameron Thomas is their best scorer at this point. I mean, he's going to be the focal point. Can he handle that? Being the focal point of the other team's defense too? I
Yeah.
guess we'll see. This is a classic Leon high risk, high reward thing.
No, this is just straight up homer picks. He did not have to do that. There's better
It's
plays out here, I
definitely
think.
because he feels that, again, it's a net. There's definitely, playing part of it. When you draft a player like him, you just have to hope that because he's going to be the focal point, he's going to way out produce the numbers there. Claxton is
I
what Claxton is. I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, but a lot again, me and you and a couple other guys drafted bigs early. These guys are now hunting for bigs.
Yeah. I think if I would have been in Leon's position, I think the players to get here would have been Zach LaVine and Brandon Miller. That's
Mhm.
just my take on it. I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
would you could if you wanted a big, look right just past them. You had Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. So although with Jaren Jackson's the same issues that I had with Desmond Bain is the John Moran show, and then everybody else gets the
Yeah, but Jackson.
scraps.
See, but the thing with
Everybody else is
Jackson
a
is
hyena.
Jackson's the rebounder. Block shots and
Yeah,
rebounds. So
yeah. I know. I know.
the scoring might be a little bit up and down, but the block shots and the rebounds, that's where he's going to make his money.
Yeah, that's true with them, but
And he can
I
shoot a
just don't want
bit.
to deal with it. Yeah, that's true, but I didn't want to deal
Claxton
with it.
can't hit outside of 5 feet.
Yeah, definitely. This would have been better than Nicholas Claxton, I think. Triple J over Nicholas Claxton for sure. Zach LaVine over Cam Thomas for sure as well. But Leon wanted to go with the back-to-back homer pick, so bless him for it. Uh, like I said, I like Brandon Miller as a high upside guy. I know the 27.1
Yeah,
projected points are
I
not going to wow
I, I
anybody.
I would take the over on that right now.
What about CJ McCollum? Do you take the over at 35? I think that's more of an under, wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
There's just too many mouths to feed in New Orleans.
yeah. I mean, again, Zion's the focal point.
And he needs to be fed all the time, apparently.
Zion, Zion, you
Hi-oh.
got Zion Ingram. They
DeJounte
just they
Murray, by
just
the
they
way.
just paid the kid. What the hell's his name? I forgot his name right now.
Brandon Ingram,
No, the
DeJounte
Murphy.
Murray.
Murphy.
Oh, Trey Murphy, right?
Trey
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he got paid as well. Wait, how does he fit
Yeah,
into all of
Murphy
this?
got paid. Murphy got paid today.
I know. I don't. I it threw me out of a loop because how does he fit into this? All the more reason not to get CJ
See,
McCollum. I thought
I
to myself.
I've heard lots of rumors that they're looking to move Ingram.
Okay. Yeah, they've been saying that for years, and
Yeah, but
he's owed
there
36 million.
there was several rumors that there was some issues with him and the organization this offseason and that they were looking to move him.
Yeah, well, he's been the one putting all the work while Zion Williamson goes and parties and
Hmm.
does not take care of himself, and Brandon Ingram is the one that shows up, but Brandon Ingram gets treated like a second class citizen. So, uh, we move on. I ended up with Jalen Duren, but I had some options here. Well, first and foremost, who's the better center, Kristaps Porzingis or Jalen Duren? Jalen Duren.
KP is still better at this point. I mean, Durant hasn't,
Okay.
Durant has a lot of upside, but again, he's not shown anything at this point.
By the way, KP going to Alex Robertson's team. Um, it's I looked at the landscape of the centers and even the ones that are power forwards like Alex Starr, and I realized, nah, this is it. Maybe I can get Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is coming with a lot of question marks this season. Jonathan Kuminga, nothing's guaranteed, and DeAndre Ayton is DeAndre Ayton. So I figured, well, Jalen Duren has to be it. I gotta chase the upside at center. It's the same thing as even Evan Mobley, 15 points, 10 rebounds, and blocks and steals. And
Hmm.
they'll add up, and he'll chip in some assists. You get a 30-point center, a young guy at that, young 20-year-old center, 21-year-old center.
No,
I
that's
got it
it.
made, I thought to myself.
I love his skill set. There's a lot of upside. It's just, like a lot of young centers, it's the foul trouble. Like I've watched a lot of those Detroit games because I like Cunningham and I like Duran,
Yeah.
and he just can't stay on the ground. It's like there's never a head fake he won't go for.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Some of these young big guys kill me, and it's like stay on the ground. You don't have to jump.
well, for him, there's really nobody else. Yeah, you could say, well, Isaiah Stewart, Paul Reed. I'm just looking at just whatever random depth chart
Mhm.
website. Um, but yeah, it's the Jalen Duren show, so he's gonna get all the play. He's gonna get all the action in the middle position. Hopefully 25 minutes turns into 30, 35 minutes per game. He's young enough where he should be able to play those times.
Yeah,
And 15-10 becomes 18 and 15.
he was in my queue for this round
Yeah,
also. So
I figured.
to me it's not a reach. I was thinking about taking him, but you took him.
Yeah, I figured because yeah, if I don't get him now, then you guys are gonna. But let's look at it. Michael Mikal Bridges. I don't know, too much risk with too many bouncy feet in New York. It's Jalen Brunson and then Cat, and then everybody's fighting for scraps. I don't want to deal with it. I had Jalen Green for a season or two. The kid has a lot of growing up to do. Alex Starr, he's a rookie. I might as well just get Jalen Duren. Derek White, not a fan. And Dave goes Derek White and Brad Beal back to back. I don't know, man. This is I know that Dave and Leon, they don't care about risk, but you got to admit that this Brad Beal pick is a little risky, even in the sixth
I
virtual
I
seventh
didn't
round,
like
correct?
again. I didn't take Bill.
Yeah,
I took the rookie here. Like I said, I took Sar. I love his upside, and he's going to get playing time because it's Washington.
right.
Beal to me is I don't know. I didn't like the trade last year, so it just didn't seem like a good fit, and it wasn't a good fit. You just added another shooting guard next to Booker.
Not to say that Brad Beal is washed or he's over the hill or whatever. I mean, he definitely gets hurt a lot, and
He gets
that's a
hurt a
big
lot.
question mark.
He hasn't looked the same to me the last few years, honestly.
That is true, but when he's on his game and the
He can
shot is going
shoot.
in, I mean, he's deadly. He's deadly, and
He,
he can rack up points like nobody's business.
the last thing to go for a shooter is the shot.
Yeah, Ray Allen, right?
Yeah, I mean, Allen could probably still shoot the lights out if you get him on the court.
I would have to say that I like your back-to-back picks better than I do like Dave's with Alex Sarr and Anthony Simons, who is very underrated in this league.
Hmm.
Um, do not like the Drew Holiday. I was not gung-ho about getting Drew Holiday. I may regret that later, but nah, nothing about him this upcoming season is doing anything for me.
I thought about Holiday, but to me, he's like the fourth option
Yeah,
on
not
the
for me.
team, and to me, Anthony Simmons is the basically the number one option there.
By default, yeah, so that always helps.
And he was doing really good last year till he got hurt.
Yeah.
And if he's healthy, I expect that to be a very big value pick there.
No, I was considering getting him in either the fifth or sixth round, but obviously,
Mhm.
once again, like-minded minds here. You kept stealing all the players I wanted, and apparently, I stole one of your players that you wanted. Zach Edey. I'll be honest, I was not looking at any rookies this season. Just not impressed by this rookie class. What did you think of this rookie class that just passed? Are you for it,
There was only
against
a
it?
few of them that I liked. Sar was one, Edie was one. Um, but you got to look at the rookies. To me, whenever you're going to draft a rookie, especially early in the draft, is are they actually in a spot where they're going to play?
Yeah,
Because if not, then you're drafting for next year. And if you're going to draft for next year, that should be late. Like I'll take flyers in later rounds on rookies once like my basic lineup is set.
yeah.
Because you never know if someone's going to hit. But if you're drafting a rookie who's going to be on the bench, then how does that help you in this league at all?
Yeah, I don't see it. But hey, I got happy that I got Tyler Hero on my team. You tell me what that means. I mean, Tyler Hero is the face of our private chat. So same the Jerry Krause like, oh, I got that guy. I got my guy. Yes, yes, I got my guy. I've been I eyed him for like the last two or three rounds, and I finally got him on the team. So I'm very happy. But it came at the cost of a guy like Jaden Ivey, who, as you know, I also had on my team a couple years or the last couple years or so. So I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what that means. No, Tyler Hero or Jaden Ivey in this little patch here.
That's, to me, it's kind of a toss up. I have some
Mhm.
issues with Harrell because I've heard and seen things down here in South Florida, and I just keep expecting him to be suspended at some point.
Yeah, that's the risk you
Um,
kind of take there. But so far, so
and
good.
I've seen him out and about when I've been out and about with friends, and let me tell you that at some point there's going to be an issue. Uh, and God bless whoever's in charge of Miami's, passing
Security.
bills and keeping things out of the press and stuff. But let me tell you,
I mean, come on, you seen Pat Riley? You think he's gonna let that stuff get out in the public like that? Come on. There's a reason why he's been wearing suits since the 1970s, bro.
sooner or later he's going to cross the wrong person.
Moving on to the centers here that were drafted: Jacob Podol, Kyle Kuzma, Jonathan Kuminga, DeAndre Ayton. Who's the best of that bunch?
I mean, from a fan perspective,
Yeah,
Kuzma
fans.
is the most consistent player and the one who's going to get the most opportunity.
Yeah,
Potel is not, Potel is he's going to give you a low end double double most nights.
yeah,
He's not going to give you a lot of blocks, so that loses that center, that center extra potential type of thing.
yeah. I gotta
But
say,
he'll give you, double double type numbers. If you
shame
needed
on
a
me.
center,
I have not looked too closely at Aaron's team or anybody's team really. I'm so concerned about you guys. I still think you're gonna steal my players if I keep talking about them, even though the draft's already over. But yeah, yeah, Aaron goes very Canadian heavy in this draft. Well, Rudy Gobert, I'm convinced he got Rudy Gobert because he speaks French, and she speaks a little French on the side, so there's some affinity there. RJ Barrett, Toronto Raptors, she's a Toronto Raptors fan, so of course she gets
I
her.
told you she was assembling the all Canada team at one
Oh
point.
yeah, yeah. What are the Convengers? Well, the CJ McCollum kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And then Jacob Polo, who's a Raptors player, Raptors center. I think I would have chased after Jonathan Kuminga if I had, but I don't. I think this is too early for him in the
it
sixth
was.
round.
I mean, again, Thompson's gone. He's going to get minutes. You know, you. I'm sure Golden State is hoping he, continues to progress. They need him to progress.
Yeah,
So that could end up being a really good pick. But I mean, as far as what's available around, I mean, Kobe White showed flashes last year with with Ball out,
and
and
Levine out as well, but Levine is back this year, so that's a concern.
who knows if Ball is gonna be around.
Yeah, and Levine's gonna take up a lot of.
And yeah,
He's gonna take a lot of
Levine
attention,
is a
and
high volume, but DeRozan's not there anymore. There's some shot availability.
Leon comes back with Chris Paul and Clint Capella. I think we might have talked about this, but bro, why doesn't anybody like Clint Capella, man? Why don't they love him? All he does is give you double doubles and blocks and alley oops, and It seems like every team he's on, every real NBA
I,
team he's
I've
on,
I've
he gets
had I've
traded
had him a
away.
few times.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't draft him early, but if you needed a center in this part of the draft, to me, he's a great pick here because if you don't have centers in this league, we were talking about it earlier, and
Yep.
Capella's an automatic double double. He blocks shots on top of that. He's gonna get you he's gonna get you those double digit rebounds, and he's gonna get blocks. And some nights he'll score 15, and some nights he'll score three. Uh,
Of this group, who was the best of the centers here? Clint Capella, Wendell Carter Jr., or Jeremy Grant? Also going in the seventh round here.
Jeremy Grant. I
Gun to my
mean,
head, I'm picking Capella.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
would say
you're
Capella. I
all
mean,
right.
Carter just doesn't block shots really.
Let's keep playing this game here. There's some interesting choices being made here in the seventh virtual eighth round after the one keeper. But we got Josh Hart, Michael Porter Jr., or OG Anunoby. So we got two Knicks players and Michael Porter Jr. Who got the best end of this deal here?
I like OG. Just because again, he's going to give you the rebounding, he's going to give you steals, he's going to give you even blocks. He's a very underrated rim protector. Because
Yeah.
it's like Michael Porter is just a complete. I'm going to give you 30. I'm going to give you 10. You're never going to get an assist. Hart, I love Hart basketball wise, but I don't think he's going to have great numbers. He's going to
Mm.
rebound. He might get you, 5 or 6 assists. But he's basically our worst shooter at this point.
I would have gone with Michael Porter Jr. I'm still a fan of his. Yeah, there's the back issues that are always prevalent, and he's a black hole on offense, but
The only
primary
points you
scorer.
get from him is his scoring.
Yeah, I know. I
So when
agree.
he has an off night shooting, you get nothing.
No, I hear you on that one, but
That 26.4 projection is 22 points of scoring.
hey, but that's 22 points guaranteed of scoring,
Yeah, but
right?
are you getting that though? I mean, because like you
Sure.
watch you watch his box score, and
I know. I'm aware.
him and Aaron Gordon are like, I'm gonna score this game. But to me, even Gordon is gonna rebound more, and Gordon will get some assists. Where Porter's just basically, if he has an off night, there's 3 games that week, and he has 2 off shooting nights. That week he murdered you.
It's still for me, it's still you know
Because
what to expect from him. I don't know what to expect from Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. There's just too many variables there with the Knicks. Too many mouths to feed. Like I've been mentioned, that's the running theme here is also too many mouths to feed. We
I
gotta
mean, to
end.
me, I can see OG getting 8 to 10 boards a night, playing at that 4 spot.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a couple of steals. He's gonna get a couple of blocks. He manages it almost every night since he's been on that team. So there's gonna be those points, and then he's gonna get wide open threes in the
Move,
corner, which that's his bread and butter.
moving on to some of these point guards here. D'Angelo Russell, who, you know what, if he would have been available, I think I would have picked him up instead of Scoot Henderson. But Scoot Henderson, and you know what, let's add these guys too. Austin Reeves, Colin Sexton. Who's the bench of that? Who's the best of that bunch?
I was very happy that I got Reeves.
Yeah, I was considering him.
Scoot, I love his talent, but wow, can't he can't shoot. I mean, it
Yeah.
was it was bad.
No, I'm banking
And,
on
and
all the other
I
things.
watched a lot of the games, and I don't know. It's not like, some guys like shooting bad luck, they're rookies. He was clanking balls. I mean,
Yeah.
off. It's not like they were rolling, you've seen it, rookies come in, the ball rolls around, they don't quite have that. It was an ugly looking thing. I,
No,
I
I'm
never expected
banking.
that. I was very high on him last year. That's why I drafted him.
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember you. We were talking
I
about
thought he
that
was gonna
last
be
year.
I thought he was gonna be rookie, like rookie of the year contender last year. And
Yeah, so did I. Yeah. I'm
D'Angelo's
hoping.
just D'Angelo.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'm
mean,
hoping
if
with
LeBron could trade him for something, he would.
uh, the thing with Scoot Henderson, I'm just hoping produces in other ways. Like, yeah, he'll get you 8 points, but can he give me like 5 assists, 6 assists, 7 assists, and
Well, see,
grab some rebounds
the
along the
thing to me
way?
with Scoot is if Simmons and Sharp are healthy, how much run is he getting?
Well, someone has to distribute the ball, don't they? That's Scoot's job. Come on, man, be
Theoretically?
optimistic.
No, no. I mean, yes, theoretically, yes, but they like that Simmons Sharp backcourt.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm banking on the fact that they're gonna need someone to distribute the ball, and that guy is
I mean,
Scoot Henderson.
if he can start shooting, that's a nice three-headed guard rotation, and he might end up getting more minutes because of it.
But I was considering
Because
Reeves,
Simmons can slide over to the two.
I was considering Reeves and Sexton in this round, in the seventh round here. I I can't, I'm just like you. I can't get away from the fact that Scoot Henderson is a starting point guard, highly regarded rookie last year. He's going to go into his sophomore year, hopefully with better results. And I do say Scoot Henderson is going to be the one who has to distribute. And I just remember that the Blazers also got Denny Avdija, who can also distribute the ball.
Right. That was
So
that was the other thing I looked at because Denny's is very much a point forward type,
yeah,
and they were
yeah,
talking about playing Simmons, Sharp, and Avija as part of the lineup because he balances that lineup more.
right. Moving on to the eighth round there. Who did Dave get back to back? Colin Sexton, Devin Vassell. That's okay. That's okay. And then Keegan Murray, Bobby Portis, Brandon Pajemski. Well, we're almost halfway done. Let's see if we could speed up. Let's do something here.
I thought about Podzemski.
I was thinking it too, but Jacob got him. I was gonna get him actually in this round. Like, okay, he's the next guy available for me. Uh, who was like, or maybe Amen Thompson, but no, definitely Pajemski. I felt like he was the guy to pick here, and Jacob takes him away from me. So if it's not EJ, if it's not you, if it's not Dave, if it's not Alex, Jacob chimes in every once in a while, and it just pisses me off. But yeah, I ended up with Keontae George. With that being said, let's go with who did you not like in this eighth round?
I didn't love Portis here.
Mm.
It's just, he's just such an odd player there.
Yeah, yeah, he teams up with
Like
Tobias
again, I would
Harris.
love to have Bobby Portis on my team as the like a backup power forward center
Yeah,
on my actual NBA team.
yeah, the Knicks. Yep.
But for fantasy, I just, he doesn't do it for me there.
What did you think about EJ going Tobias Harris in the seventh round and Bobby Portis in the eighth?
I mean, Tobias Harris is just he's Tobias Harris.
What does that mean? What does that mean exactly?
I don't know what he's doing on Detroit.
Veteran
I can only
intangibles,
imagine
okay?
that they're gonna trade him.
No, man, veteran intangibles, all right? This is the this is
Let
the
Felipe with a
what?
straight face. You have a young group of guys,
Sometimes they
and
need
Tobias
leadership.
Harris is the veteran influence you want on this team.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You guys tell me I'm too analytic. That's what you guys say about me. That I only look at the numbers. I don't care about the human element of things. I'm
Again,
telling
he's
you,
a black hole.
I'm telling you, this is the human element you guys are talking about right here. Tobias Harris this is the human element, and you're telling me no, not that kind of human
Listen,
element.
Tobias Harris is a great off the court dude. I love what he does with his
Veteran
money.
leadership. There you
Off
go.
the court, he seems like a wonderful human being.
There you go.
On the court,
Those are intangibles, man.
I just I don't know. I mean, is he great in the locker room? I never heard great things about him in Philadelphia. But again, Embiid is I don't know. I don't like Embiid personally. I think he's certain things. But I don't know.
No,
Again, his contract was highway robbery. The fact that Philadelphia chose him
over
over
Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler is what destroyed that franchise for Embiid.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I, might be the worst, one of the worst moves I've ever seen.
Don't trust the process. And I'm a big Tobias Harris fan for a long time, and I figure you can make a case, well, Tobias Harris is gonna ruffle less feathers and he's gonna play a lot smoother because he can share the ball
Let's
where
put it this
Jimmy
way:
Butler is
Tobias
gonna
Harris
require the
on
ball.
Detroit could end up hurting your guy's fantasy value.
They don't. Hey, that's blasphemy. Okay. No, we don't do that. We don't talk about Bruno here. Listen, he's there on a team full of young guys. Tobias Harris is the intangible guy. Okay, he's the glue
Tobias
guy
Harris
now.
is going to think
At
I'm the veteran and I'm going to take 45 shots a game.
I mean, just because he makes 25 million doesn't mean he's gonna turn into a diva.
Oh no.
God, you guys are so negative. Anyway, what were we doing with players that we don't like? Oh yeah,
Portis?
yeah, Portis. We
No.
talked about him. Let's see, who did I not like? I guess Terry Rozier. Rozier? Oh yeah, because he was the Heat now. I didn't
Oh,
like that pick. I didn't
scary
like
too.
that.
Yeah. I mean, he's not, again, he's just a shooter.
And I was hoping to get Jordan Poole, maybe even Chris Middleton in the ninth round, but those two guys go to Chris Middleton goes to Harry and Joe's team. Leon takes Jordan Poole. So two less players of some degree of risk I get to avoid because they got taken. Leon comes back with the rookie Zachary Rissak. I don't know how to say his name. Rissaker
No idea.
for the Atlanta Hawks. And then Brooke Lopez. Well, there's the other Milwaukee center. Now you're talking, right there,
Uh-huh.
James.
Yep.
People are desperate for centers now at this stage of the game.
Lopez is one of those guys. He's like a 15-10 dude. He does actually block shots though.
Can't
But
rebound
then
worth a lick though.
Milwaukee goes from Lopez playing 35 minutes a night to playing 15 minutes a night and Giannis playing center. So you just don't know what's going to happen there at all.
No, Bobby Portis plays center at like 25, 26,
And
maybe even
Portis
30
played
minutes a clip.
there, and they've been talking about trading Lopez.
Yeah.
Again, you just don't know. I mean, but again, at this point in the draft, if you need a center, you need a center.
I was considering, well, I got the guy I wanted. So this is one of the few times I get the guy that I
Who
want.
did you get
But
here? Oh, you got
well, you tell me
Draymond
who. Who did I get? I got the best pick of this draft of this round, the round number nine. Who was the best pick of this round here, in your opinion, James?
in this round.
Yeah.
So let's see. I love Jabari Smith.
Hmm.
I like
Oh, I was thinking about it.
I like Avija a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Draymond is just again, I don't know.
No, man, that's the correct
I mean,
answer was
again,
Draymond Green.
he's a single triple dude.
Hey, man, it adds up. 8 assists equals 16 points,
Listen, I
eight
was lucky in
rebounds,
the league.
24.
I had Draymond for a couple of years when he could actually shoot from 3-point range.
Listen, if he
Uh,
just gets three
and he
eights,
was
like
great.
he gets three of a kind, 8 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. I think that's 31 points. Let's see. 16 plus 8, 24 plus another 8. That's 32 points.
Yeah,
Who
no, like I
says
said,
who says no to that
he can fill it up. But like I said, at this point in the draft, he can fill it up.
in the ninth round? Who says no to that?
The question is, again, he's old. He's kicking people in the nuts every 3 or 4 games.
Yard. No, man, that's the
But to me, like upside wise here, I really like Jabari.
mhm.
That's that him and Sengun are a nice duo there.
Other players I was looking at in this round was Jalen Suggs and Denny Avdija. I was actually hoping to get Denny Avdija in the 10th round. Obviously, EJ had other things in mind.
I was hoping to get Denny right there also.
Who did? Well, let's see. Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I always get confused with Bojan Bogdanovic. Like I never
Yeah.
know, but I think this is the guy who's
Hey, for a
supposed to
while
be
I
good.
thought they were one guy. So and I got confused like off season. I'm like, wait, he went to Atlanta? I thought he was on Detroit. What?
I can see their faces, man. I can see their faces. I can't see their names. But I mean, this is as chalk and vanilla as you're gonna get from Dave. Bogdan
Mhm.
Bogdanovic, and then on the turn he gets Marcus Smart. Not a fan of that. Who else got here? Klay Thompson. Why did you do that? Klay Thompson and Walker Kessler. What are you doing here, man? What were you thinking?
I just think Thompson's gonna shoot. And
The
at
Ray
this
Allen
point,
rule.
he could easily average 18 points just shooting the ball there.
I
Uh,
was also hoping to
there,
get Derek Lively in the 10th round, but no, EJ kept stealing my guys all draft long. Denny Avdija
there was no
with
way
Derek
that
Lively.
Lively was getting back to you with EJ, the Dallas Maverick fans in there.
And
He
then
needed a center. He was really upset that I took Kessler. I
I
was ecstatic to get Kessler at that point. Uh,
I think EJ got the best one in the round there. But then, so I'll be honest. Remember I was telling you
See, like
guys, hey,
I was contemplating taking Lively. I did not take Lively because they traded for Gafford last year, and they really started playing Gafford a lot more than Lively because Lively cannot hit a free throw for the sight of his life, and again, his range is about 5 feet.
that's all you need, man. Just shut up and
But
get the ball. It's up
as
in
soon
the
as
air.
Gafford got there, Gafford became the guy that they played a lot more of.
Yeah, yeah, you're
And
right
you know,
about
to
that.
me, Kessler's just a he's a beast. And whether he ends up starting there or they trade him because supposedly he's on the outs, he's gonna he's whenever he's in, he rebounds, he blocks shots, he's got a nice little post game. You know,
I'll s-
whether you
I'll
know,
I'll say this about the Dallas Mavericks. If they want to win championships, it's not going to be Daniel Gafford as the starting center or the center who gets a significant minutes. It's because of Derek Lively. So we'll see. But Derek Lively has to develop. There's
yeah,
no question about it. But yeah, if the Mavericks have any chance of any championship aspirations, Derek Lively is at that. He's in discussions as somebody of importance there.
he
So,
reminds me of a young Chandler.
oh yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking about. Him and well,
You
Jackson
know,
Hayes for me as well.
if he can develop like a mid-range jump shot at least, not even a 3 point, just something so that he can look a little pick and pop with Luca and Kyrie,
Yeah.
you know, that would open up so much for them. But you know, he just again, I don't understand why 7 foot dudes can't hit free throws.
It's just the lack of skill.
Just finger roll it in, do something. I
Grandma
need him to
in,
shoot.
grandma shot in.
Somebody call Rick Barry. What the hell?
I was gonna tell you, Derek Lively, little bit of Jackson Hayes in him is what it reminds me of too. Jackson Hayes, guy who could jump out of the gym, get lobs, get rebounds, get blocks, can't do much of anything else. But I mean, Tyson Chandler, you just called it, made a long career, even after the back problems, made a long career just doing that, just hustling and
You know,
knowing where to be.
but Chandler, I mean, I remember when he was on the Knicks, he had a little 10 to 15 foot jumper
Yeah,
that he started hitting.
I tell you what, that was not evident in Chicago.
No,
The
no,
be
no. I said when he got to the Knicks, he really developed that shot. When he
Yeah.
first got there, I'm like, oh, this is not,
Well, I was
gonna
gonna
be a
say,
good thing.
I'm not
But
surprised.
he really worked on it,
I'm not
and
s- I'm not surprised about that what you're saying because Chandler basically came up as a guard in high school. Then he got
mhm.
this massive growth spurt, and suddenly they're talking, nah, you're gonna be a center. None of this fancy schmancy guard skills that you're
Yeah,
showing off in high
and you
school.
could see the guard skills because he was a really good passer from that
Yeah,
little position that Thibs likes to have his bigs in,
yeah, and that was one of
where they're the
the
passer like at the top of the key foul line area.
And that was one of the allures of having both him and Eddie Curry on the same team was that Curry was offensively gifted and Chandler is such a talented passer
Hmm.
and rebounder and defender. So yeah, but like I said, I think all centers should strive to be at the bare minimum like Tyson Chandler. Not just the skill set that they could bring on offense, but dude, just chase the ball, block the shot, tap the ball back to your players, to your offensive
Yeah.
teammates. You could play forever if you want. Okay, so my story here in the 10th round. Remember I told you guys I was out and about with my wife. My daughter and
Hmm.
I and my wife, we were all having our anniversary, our 19th year anniversary at Red Robin. I shit you not. The conversation was dominating. The main conversation that dominated that dinner was, do I go with Ben Simmons or Dennis Schroeder? And as I'm there talking it over with my wife, because I got no one else to talk about, see, Ben Simmons. Um, well, he's he's keeper material. Like he can easily go 50, 60 points, but he's always hurt and he can't shoot for shit. And he's not dependable. He has mental issues. He has back problems. My wife, as I'm telling her this, he goes, then why the hell would you want him? Like, because there's more than one way to contribute on the basketball court, woman. He could, I've seen him average 50 points on any given stretch, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But
The
Jacob
allure
took
of Ben
that
Simmons.
the allure of it's like the Simon Call, right? Of the sea. You can't get away from it. And then the 10th round, I mean, this is a really great pick by Jacob because I was getting ready to pounce. But I guess he made the decision for me. I went with Dennis Schroeder. I hope it doesn't bite me in the butt. But I don't know. Is this the year for Ben Simmons there, James?
I couldn't do it. I thought about it a couple times in the ninth and the tenth, and I'm like, I just couldn't do it.
It's a better pick than
I,
Walker Kessler. I could tell you that much. Uh, I'm gonna go out and say it. I just did. I just did right now. I said it. Yeah, I said it.
Hey, listen, you could be right, but I really like Kessler.
Simmons qualifies at center too, by the way. What do you think of them apples?
Simmons qualifies at a lot of things, but he's got to be on the court for that. Simmons is more likely to have more days at Bellevue than he has at in Brooklyn.
What the hell is Bellevue? Is that like a
That is
neighborhood
a
over there?
mental hospital
Oh,
in
Jesus Christ.
That's a
I
very
sorry.
famous mental hospital in New York.
Oh my God, sorry I asked. Oh, there's a guy, Bojan Bogdanovic. Yeah, that's right. He's with the Nets. They were celebrating his birthday recently.
Hmm.
Lonzo Ball. So we go from Ben Simmons to Lonzo Ball. It's the 10th round. It's double digit rounds. Who's gonna play more games, Ben Simmons or Lonzo Ball?
Wow.
Wow is right.
I mean, right now, right now again, it's preseason. It looks like Ben Simmons, but come Tuesday night, Ben Simmons will get on the court. He'll go up for
Crack,
a layup. He'll
crack an
grab his
ale.
back, and he'll be sitting next to Kawhi Leonard on a beach somewhere.
So,
Is Lonzo even healthy at this point?
you know how it goes, bro. I mean, he's recovering from
I know he's
botched
got that foot
knee.
thing, though. I haven't heard anything about him playing.
Well, I know that he's recovering from those botched knee surgeries that didn't take the first couple of times. I mean, they're pretty much counting down the days that he retires. I thought I saw a tweet saying that from a
He should
credible
sue. He should
source.
sue his father's sneaker company. I'm just saying.
Well, by that, I mean, by the time he got to the Bulls, he was done with them. I think he was Team Nike or Team
And
Adidas. I
and
forgot
his
which
and his
one.
knees were done by him.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's concerning. It's very concerning. And I saw a reputable source saying that Lonzo Ball, the Bulls are not expecting any long-term plans with him this upcoming season or next season or the year after that, that they're just counting on the days where he calls it quits or his career or his contract runs out and that's it, which is a real damn shame. Real
Yeah.
damn shame because that Bulls team,
I really liked him as a player. I felt,
yeah, I didn't like his dad.
no, nobody likes that.
Well, me not liking his dad, kind of influenced me not liking him either. But I'll be honest, when I saw his that draft, his rookie was it 2017 rookie class, maybe
Hmm.
2018. I don't know if he was a number one pick or if he was number one pick material, but definitely if I had a choice, he would have been my guy because I saw a lot of Jason Kidd in him, and Jason Kidd's one of my
Yeah,
favorite players of all time.
that was the absolute comparison that I had when he was coming out. He didn't have the greatest shot, but defensively, his vision on the court,
He's
pushing
very
it.
gifted.
Yeah, I mean, his brother, again, extremely
D'Angelo,
gifted. Also, keeps getting injured. Also, I don't know his dad's bad genes. I don't
would
know
you
what's.
stop? His bad blue jeans, his bad shoes.
I don't know what's happening. But it's just like it seems like they're just very injury prone at this point.
You missed
Tremendous
what
talent.
you missed a little blurb I said right there. Are you talking about Leangelo there? Which brother?
Yeah, no,
Leangelo?
no, Lamelo. I
Caught
don't
you napping
even.
there.
There's a third one, right?
Leangelo,
The
yeah.
one that was, according to the dad, the most talented one who can't even make the league. It's like he's the
But
only one with a healthy set of legs because he doesn't get no playing time anywhere.
I'll give LeVar his due. I mean, he did to have one kid make it to the NBA is a miracle. To have two of them is
No,
um
I mean he pushed them.
it's a work of art.
I mean,
It's
is it possible? Again, hindsight's what did he, push them, train them too hard when they were younger, and you know, just
hard to
like
tell.
I complain about baseball little leagues and kids throwing breaking balls when they're 9 and 10.
Yeah. Yeah, these kids are playing multiple games per day under AAU, under 10, under 11, under 12
Yeah,
leagues and stuff.
on
It's
underdeveloped knees and muscles and joints, and that is too much.
yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's move on then to the 11th round. Interesting set of picks here. We can't get to all of them because otherwise we'll be here all night. We're trying to finish up and get to bed at a reasonable hour. Let's see, who did Leon get in the last round? Lonzo Ball, and then he pairs it up with Ivica Zubats, who I thought I had a chance of getting him in this turn, but I didn't, obviously. Okay, maybe I'll get Donovan Clingan. No. PJ Washington? No. Alex Caruso, maybe? No. John Collins was at the top of my queue for a long time. What is up with why doesn't anybody like it's the same thing with Clint Capella. Why doesn't anybody like John Collins?
He was a Hawk.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
uh,
Jalen Johnson, beware. Go ahead.
I had him on my queue for this round, also John Collins. I didn't take him earlier. I don't know what Utah's doing over there, honestly.
Nobody does.
And then that's basically I think where people are trying to figure out what they're gonna do. I mean, does Collins become more attractive if trades go down? He gets more of a role, more of a run.
It's
Right
hard to
now, it's kind
tell.
of like they're not exactly sure what they're doing.
It's hard to tell because if he goes to a good team, then he's probably buried somewhere in the bench. He's not starting.
It just depends on where he goes.
He's not starting on a good team. There's no way.
Does he go somewhere, or does, like I said, a lot of teams are interested in marketing. If marketing gets moved, does he get a bigger role in Utah?
Oh, John Collins.
Right.
No, I think they just preserve his health and make sure he doesn't get hurt for trade value. And they'll just show enough for him to average 2010 or close to it. And then Danny Ainge is gonna just rack up on those draft picks because that's all he does. He just hoards draft picks and doesn't do much of anything. And then people want to give him credit for winning championships that he wasn't there for, like in Boston. And I don't know, some GMs, all they want to do is hoard draft picks and do nothing with them. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
hey, and at some point you have to make a move.
He doesn't ever make. Don't get me
No, I
started
know.
because
I'm
I
saying,
don't know if Angel were here, he'd be yelling at me right now.
I'll give you the example. The criticism this offseason, people talking about Leon Rose cashing out for Mikal Bridges and then Anthony Towns. Well, before everyone was criticizing that he was hoarding all those useless
Yeah,
picks. Then when he
yeah.
makes the trade, now why would he do that?
So when I guess to my pick, I ended up like, well, I guess I'll get Cole Anthony, but I was kind of considering Jeremy Sochan, Rui Hachimura, Shaedon Sharp, Naz Reid. Now this is the one that I might regret later. Like we talk about centers and how they're invaluable they are in this league, how there's no price too high for them. If I
Mm-hmm.
was considering Zubats in this round, looking back, maybe I should have considered Naz Reid, although it's the same issues that he had with when Cat was on the team. You got Rudy Gobert, and now you got Julius Randle. So where are these Naz Reid minutes going to come from? But when
Right.
Naz Reid gets consistent minutes, holy crap, it's a cheat code. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with Cole Anthony. I like what I saw. I've always liked him. I always have him on this league on my team more often than not, and I look forward to him being basically the first person off the bench for the Orlando Magic and spelling Jalen Suggs. Although I saw Jalen Suggs got paid a lot of money, so now I'm like kind of questioning this.
I think
But
Anthony's kind of like their sixth man at this point. I had him on my queue for this round also.
yeah, I mean, I had yeah between him and Cole Anthony, I had him for a long time on the top of my queue. I was kind of surprised. We have a Magic fan in here. We got some Floridians in here. We got some Knick fans who have that Greg Anthony affinity. I know
Mm-hmm.
Jacob loves him. I'm surprised he didn't take him. And so that was kind
I
of like
mean,
a red flag for
you might have kind of stole him from Jacob right there. Ended up with
Rui.
Hachimura after you.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, why didn't Jacob get him in the previous round? I'm kind of questioning myself, like, well, is there something I don't know about this guy? But yeah, I just know six man of the year potential here, Cole Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And those six men that as you know, James, you've been on the block for a few years. Those six men, they're the ones who average 15, 17, 18, 19 points a game, and they don't
Yeah.
actually play like bench minutes. They actually play starter minutes sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
hoping the same for Cole Anthony. Before we move on, anybody that you want to talk about in the 11th round, whether you like them or not like them, what do you think?
I think
11th.
Caruso is a
Yeah.
good value pick here.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
pick.
you
Finally have
know,
something nice to say about Mike Harvey's team.
I think he's gonna have a really good role, a big role there. They traded away Giddy for whatever reason they traded Giddy away for.
Hmm.
But
Well,
Caruso provides them something they're lacking. He's a veteran presence,
great defender,
great
by the way.
defender.
Just
So he's kind of a really perfect fit there.
There's a veteran leadership. We were kind of joking around with Tobias Harris. Alex Caruso is the embodiment of intangibles in the NBA. He just has it and fits
Yeah,
very well with this OKC team.
yeah, no, to me that was a I thought that was a great trade.
Yeah.
I mean, because Giddey's a guy who very talented offensively, but he needs the ball, and he's not going to have the ball in OKC in his hands.
And he can't shoot for shit. He can't shoot worth a lick, I should say. He just can't do it.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll improve this upcoming season. I'm not holding my breath for it. But yeah, that's the other issue with Giddey is that he couldn't play off the
yeah.
ball because he can't shoot worth a lick. Alrighty, that's it. Let's move on to the 12th round. Okay, Andrew Wiggins. What do you make of him this upcoming season? Let's start.
I don't, as you see, he dropped to the 12th round this year, even though his projection is higher than a lot of people. So clearly, people are not high on him. They think Kuminga's going to be. You got Kuminga, but Podzimski, whatever. I can't pronounce it.
Brandon Pajimski. Yeah, yeah.
To me, those are the guys that Golden State is going to be more focused on than Wiggins. It seems like every time there's a rumor, Wiggins is the one going out for salary purposes. Uh, so he seems like he's on his last legs, way out type of there.
Yeah. I mean, Nas Reed and Andrew Wiggins going back to Dave's team. It
I love
might
the
work
Reed. I
out.
love the Reed pick. Just because, again, like you said, he's a cheat code. The question is he going to get any run?
Yeah, and it's hard to tell, but when he does, oh my God, it's you're not. Yeah, remember when I was telling you that it's hard to find any bench uh centers or any waiver wire
Gobert does tend
centers.
to miss some time.
Oh, Nas Reed can go in there right now and
Uh, you know,
put up points, numbers.
to me, Julius and Nas work better together than Julius and Gobert. But again, it's just because Gobert can't shoot.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Uh,
But getting back to Wiggins though, yeah, I don't know what's up with this guy. I mean, when the Golden State Warriors are firing on all cylinders, Wiggins is contributing. He's playing great defense. I mean, we talk about Chico. Wiggins is that for the Warriors. I mean, it's a
mhm.
pretty darn good pick for Dave, but it's now coming with a lot more risk, even for a 12th round pick, because you might just be getting sold a bill of goods and nothing else. I mean, because like you mentioned, Kaminga and Pajimski are gonna now they're gonna require attention because Wiggins couldn't take advantage of the playing time that he was getting
I
in
mean,
the last
again,
couple of years.
again with Clay gone, does that mean that he gets more run again this year? Even with the other young guys, because he's that veteran defender there. When he's healthy, he can still score.
I don't know. It just feels like he he dropped the ball somewhere in the last couple of years, and
Mhm.
I mean, his draft stock also dropped for better or for worse. But we'll see if that works out to Dave's favor. We just talked about Trey Murphy getting paid a lot of money, and that kind of muddles the waters in New Orleans. Um, I'll leave it up to our imagination as to how that Pelicans team is going to play in the upcoming season. Jordan Clarkson, I
Mhm.
want to talk about him for a little bit. And okay, so no, sorry. Yeah, Jeremy Sochan is getting paired up with Jordan Clarkson for EJ's team in the 11th and 12th round. I had Clarkson. You've been hearing me say this a lot, but I had a lot of these guys at the top of my queue, and I
Mhm.
kind of hesitated. Jordan Clarkson is being one of them. I was getting ready to pull the trigger on him in this round. Looking back, maybe I should have drafted Nas Reed and Jordan Clarkson a lot earlier if I wanted to go that route. Instead, I ended up with Cole Anthony and Kevin Porter Jr., which comes with some intrigue there. But Jordan Clarkson, we let's face it, he's great at what he does coming off the bench. That's what I'm hoping to get out of Cole Anthony this year, to have Jordan Clarkson type of production. But it goes back to what you've been saying all along. What the hell is Utah doing? It's hard to tell. Now, I'll say this, Jordan Clarkson, if he gets traded, like if he gets traded to a contending team, there's no question in my mind that he's going to get a lot of playing time. Do you see it that way or no?
Yeah, if he goes somewhere, I mean, he's your super six man.
Yeah.
That,
Okay,
that
so
that's that's the role that that I've always kind of seen him in, where he can just come in and give you buckets, when your starters go out. So
uh getting to my pick, Kevin Porter Jr. and Norman Powell. Kevin Porter was kind of someone that was in the back of my queue, but with all my players getting selected left and right by you guys, um, Kevin Porter all of a sudden looks like a very sexy choice. Like, last call, 3 o'clock in the morning. the girl by herself, just standing there by herself. You don't know if she looks good in the light or not, but you're gonna go and get her number anyway and see what happens tonight. That was Kevin Porter and me. And I have history with Kevin Porter. I like the guy, but we talk about baggage. He comes with some baggage, a lot of off
Yeah.
the court stuff. But hopefully, I mean, the Clippers signed into a long-term deal, so I'm kind of hoping that it's justified. And Kawhi is out. This could potentially be 30 points. And I'm gonna make but here's where it gets really, really juicy here. Alex Robertson drafts right behind me. He gets the other guy, Norman Powell from the Clippers as well. So
Hmm.
those two guys, Mr. Pinos, who was the better pick for the Kawhi Leonard backup role here? Kevin Porter Jr. or Norman Powell?
I liked Paul better. You know,
Blasphemy.
it's the baggage with Porter. Paul's, again, if you're looking at a one for one, Paul is more of a small forward and Porter's more of a backcourt guy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
again,
Kawhi can play both swing, right?
yeah,
He-
but
okay.
again, with Porter, the backcourt's wide open now too, but because it's just Harden basically.
Yeah, it's James Harden, and then you got
Yeah, Paul
Terrence Mann.
George and Leonard left. George is gone, Leonard left. Several guys are gonna have to produce.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it Porter? Is it Powell? Is it Mann? Guys, someone's gonna get whoever steps up is gonna end up with a role.
Well, here's where I see it.
I think it's kind of wide open.
Here's what I say. Chris Dunn is the backup point guard. He's a non-factor. So it is between Terrence Mann, Kevin Porter, Norman Powell. The power forward position is weak with Derek Jones and Nicholas Batum. And like I said, I'm just looking at this random NBA depth charts through Hoops Hype. I forgot who they're associated with. Oh, the USA
Mhm.
Today. And then Ivica Zubac and Mo Bamba are your centers. Kevin Porter and Norman Powell are going to get some playing time. They're going to get a lot of playing time
Hmm.
when they go small because that's the league nowadays. You gotta go small more often than not. I think it's Kevin Porter who has to step up, and he's more than capable to step up on this team that's gonna lack firepower. Now, the guys that you just mentioned are missing. Kawhi Leonard, how does this sound? $49 million to not play. He is living the American dream. You guys have a problem with load management? Don't blame it on LeBron. Don't blame it on James Harden. It's Kawhi Leonard, man. It's always been Kawhi Leonard. He's the one who, the reason we got load management is because of him. So nobody wants to be like the team, like the Spurs and Kawhi Leonard, and how that messy divorce got underway. Nobody wants to be involved with that. So they just let Kawhi do whatever they want. They let all these superstar players do whatever they want. Kawhi Leonard is the embodiment of load management, and he doesn't get criticized for it. At least not enough to my liking.
I I constantly criticize.
Well, I know you do. You criticize Ben Simmons too and Kawhi Leonard, but I feel like Ben Simmons gets trashed for it
Well,
more,
it's
while
it's
Kawhi
hard
Leonard
it's
gets a
hard to
pass.
criticize. First of all, it's hard to criticize Kawhi because he's never around. Uh,
And that's the problem. He's not around. That is the
right, but I mean,
problem.
LeBron. See, the thing with LeBron is, it's a spectacle always, and he's in LA. He's on the actual LA team.
Yeah.
Okay, the Clippers are the Mets.
I
Okay,
thought that was,
you know exactly what I'm saying. The Clippers are the Mets.
yeah, the little brother syndrome. Got it.
Yeah, no one, if you're on the Mets, nobody cares. When the Nets had, Durant, Kyrie, and who were people talking about? The Knicks. It is, when Durant says, "Oh, it wasn't hard to play in New York." You weren't in New York. You were in Brooklyn. Be quiet. You chose badly. And Simmons is just, again, why is Simmons getting so much criticism? He talks, and then he went to Brooklyn. He talked his way out of Philly.
Yeah.
He ended up in Brooklyn, and even though it's the Nets, it's still a bit of a New York market, and he won't shut up.
I will counter this by saying, so what? Because Kawhi is more of a quiet guy and does things behind the scenes and he has a lot of
Yeah,
quirkiness in him. He gets a pass because of that, because he doesn't
uh,
say anything.
the media knows. See,
Oh,
again, the media wants a reaction and quotes.
uh-huh.
Kawhi is not going to give them that.
No, he's gonna give him a funny laugh. That's what he
Right?
gives.
He's going to laugh. He's going to shake it off. If
Miss
you
89
ask LeBron a
games.
question, if you ask LeBron a question, you get an essay.
Well,
He
I
will
mean,
engage. and that's what the media wants. If you're gonna they go after guys who will engage with them because they want the headline. If the guy's gonna shrug at you or be like, whatever, I'm done with this interview, that doesn't get you the clickbait.
Any player after Alex's pick stick out to you? Beginning with Lou Dort and ending with Herbert Jones.
I do like Cameron Johnson from Brooklyn.
There's another guy. I just couldn't pull the trigger. He's just like John Collins. Like I couldn't pull the trigger on him. Couldn't bring myself to do it.
He was someone who I figured, late in the draft, if he's around and I needed somebody, I would take a chance on him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get run. He can shoot. If he develops, he's got a chance at minutes and development. And
The,
like I said, this at this point in the draft, I'm looking kind of for like some upside guys besides
yeah.
depth. If someone slips, I'd gladly take them. But if not, I'm looking for someone who might overplay their position at some point, who's got opportunity to do so.
Yeah. The guy I was looking to hopefully get back on the in the 13th round was Carlton Carrington, the rookie. I believe he's a rookie or
Hmm.
a second year guy. I forgot which one. I always get them confused. But I was hoping to get him back, and obviously he goes to Bob's team. He pairs him up with Max Strus. So nah, I don't like that back to back. Herbert Jones, Buddy Hield, doesn't do anything for me. Cameron Johnson gets paired up with Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, this is slim pickings is what I'm seeing. Who got
Olynyk's
okay.
one of those guys who taking a flyer on at this point is you know what he can give you if and when he gets minutes.
Yeah.
So if there's an injury or something, he's going to step in and he can give you double numbers.
Who did you like in this round, the 13th round? Because now we're getting very obscure with some of these names. Who was your favorite pick in this 13th round? Besides your pick, of course.
Well, again, like I said, Olynyk's a solid guy if you need center depth at this point. Upside wise, I mean, again, Thompson, you know, the has some upside.
Yeah, Alsar
Keldon
Thompson
Johnson is
from
really kind of fallen out of favor, it seems like, in San Antonio.
Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
By the
don't know
way,
exactly why, but
for those who can't see, he James was talking about the other Thompson twin, Alsar Thompson of the Detroit
mhm.
Pistons. Keldon Johnson is my pick for the Spurs. Well, he's been producing in the preseason,
Yeah,
and
again, he can shoot.
yeah, and they're gonna need that because now they got more ball handlers than ever before, so they're gonna need those spot up shooters, which doesn't bode well for fantasy. At the same time, the Spurs they're restocking now. I mean, they got their guy in Wemby, so you can't use the excuse that they're rebuilding because they just got the cyborg on their team.
No, they
So
definitely take a jump up once they've got Wemby. I mean, you saw
so
this
yes,
they,
so now
they
they got
played a
to
lot better.
retool, restock, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to. Oh my God, this thing's not working. I'm trying to get the depth charts again. Oh, there it is, and I just hit this. Oops, I just
Um,
hit the refresh button. But anyway, well, I mean Harrison Barnes. The problem is they brought in Harrison Barnes. I don't know who this Champagne guy is. Doesn't ring a bell.
no.
And I'm sorry, the thing fizzled out on me on the other screen. Chris Paul's on the team now, so obviously you're gonna lose touches if you can. Keldon Johnson, you're gonna lose touches to Chris Paul. They got
No.
Steven Castle, who's
You got
I guess
Vassell.
he's the backup combo guard, I guess you could call him, because I thought he
Hmm.
could play both shooting guard and point guard. So that leaves one less position for Keldon Johnson to play. They still got Jeremy Sochan. He's like a point forward, although he's gonna have to go back to his big man
Yeah,
status.
I mean Vassell and
And
Wemby are
Vassal,
are kind of the focal points at this point, no?
yeah, Vassal has gotten a step up in terms of his standing with the team. Who else is on that team? And then Wemby and the center, and then Keldon Johnson is basically trying to see if he gets any forward minutes from either Harrison Barnes or Jeremy Sochan, which skill set wise, offensively, I think I would prefer Keldon Johnson over Jeremy Sochan. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention they also got Trey Jones on that team, so you got that three-headed combo guard
Hmm.
monster there. So they're gonna try to split 48 minutes between those three guys. So now the question is, how are they gonna split those three players in terms of those 48 minutes among
Hmm.
small forward and power forward to fit in both Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sochan, and Keldon Johnson?
See,
I'm sorry.
to me, the loser in that scenario is Sochan because when you've got Wemby as your big man focal point,
And he was a point
you,
forward last year.
right?
Yeah,
He was a
last
point
year.
forward, but
Not
to
anymore.
that point, you need guys around him that can shoot to give him the space.
And Jeremy Sochan, doesn't he shoot with one hand, the free throws? Like very ugly form too.
He's got a very ugly shot.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Sochan. No, I don't know if he's saucy like Cat Carl Anthony Towns or zesty. Is it zesty or saucy? Maybe it's
I
both.
don't know what they're, I love when people make fun of people's names, and I'm like, I was like, I'd like to see somebody make fun of Mike Tyson's voice and see what happens.
They do all the time.
I
Hey,
know,
what?
but not in
Not,
person.
not in front of him. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, the champ is here.
Uh-huh.
Um, I have a tiger. I got a Siberian tiger at my home. So yeah, skill set wise, Keldon Johnson is the guy to go with, especially if you're trying to stretch the floor and give Wemby some
Mhm.
space. I don't like the Jeremy Sochan in the starting lineup, or just Sochan might be the starter. He gets his 20 minutes and then gets Keldon Johnson show at the power forward or one of those forward positions. So
Right.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I agree with you that he might have lost some favor, but he still has a skill set, I believe, to be relevant. And if not with the San Antonio Spurs, then definitely somewhere else,
Somewhere else, yeah.
like the Knicks or something. I don't know. Maybe the Bulls. No, not the Bulls. Um, the Kings, maybe.
You trade
Yeah.
Zach Levine. You're gonna trade Zach Levine for Keldon Johnson.
If the Spurs want him, yeah, why not? Levine, I mean, Levine is useless in Chicago at this point. He's been useless since forever now. Like, how can you be like have all the usage, be this
You have no
talented?
idea how many arguments I had with other Knick fans who wanted Zach Levine.
Yeah, I want you guys to get Zach Levine.
I
Yes.
was just like, there's no way. I was like,
No,
there's
get
no way
him.
that Thibs wants this dude who doesn't even look like he remembers what defense is.
He's a very frustrating player to deal with, and to see him in person, I'm like, what are you doing? There's a reason why DeMar DeRozan got a lot of sh his number was called more often than not, especially during clutch situations. Th-
Absolutely.
There's a reason for that. Levine is not that guy, and I
No,
hate to dumb it down to like the last minute of every game, but Levine is just so clumsy with the ball. Why can't the Bulls win? Why can't the Bulls do anything? Well, Levine's part of the problem. He's
absolutely.
had
Well, see,
plenty
and
of
that's one,
chances.
see, like, and again, I love Julius Randle as a player.
Hmm.
But in the fourth quarter, I did not want the ball in his hands. That was why the team played better when Brunson got here because
Yeah, it's Brunson
Randle was
show.
good at a lot of things, but he would make really bad decisions in the fourth quarter. Like he could have a great game, and there was games where he had like 8 or 10 assists, and he's moving that ball around. And then in the fourth quarter, it was just like I'm gonna make the stupidest pass that you can possibly think of in this situation, or take the worst shot possible when there are three dudes wide open. And I saw this anytime I watched or we played the Bulls, that was exactly what Levine was doing on the other side. And I was always like on defense, I was like, all right, double DeRozan, do and force the ball to Levine. And that tells you what you need to know because the same thing to me is like people were gonna double Brunson and
Yeah.
have the ball go in Julius's hands at the end because they knew there was more of a chance of him doing something stupid.
Right, 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 right.
As good as he was, there was more of a chance that he was gonna throw the ball into three people, decide to go into his spin move in the middle of four defenders, and it's just like, no. Well, you played so well the rest of the game. Why do you do this in the fourth quarter?
Right. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell what players are thinking of at when it's crunch time and the clock is ticking. But yeah, it's definitely Brunson's show up there with or without Randall. It has to go through Brunson so you can
I just,
develop plays for other
people a
guys.
lot some people are still unhappy with the trade, and I just think that Cat is a better complementary player to Brunson.
Oh yeah, that's why I drafted him in the first round. Cat,
And
I did.
again, Cat's a much more, to me, willing and smart passer.
Yeah,
Although, like I said, when Randall's on his game, he's a great distributor. He just
yeah.
fourth quarter wise, he's going to make some weird passes.
Uh, who played this other game here? The best center qualified player that was taken in the 13th round, Precious Achiuwa, Daniel Gafford, your guy, or Mark Williams? Who won that round in terms of the
I think,
center?
honestly, I was thinking about Precious, only because I just think he's going to play a lot of 4 and 5, especially with
Mm.
Mitch out. Gafford to me is it just seems at this point he's the starter, and the coaches like him. They don't really trust Lively at this point yet. That could completely change to me at this point in the draft. I figured it's kind of like a best available upside guy.
I
Uh,
like Mark Williams out
I
of those
love
three.
Mark Williams, but
He
again, he's
can't
never on the
stay
court.
healthy. He's never on the court.
He
That's
just can't stay healthy.
I
I
like what.
loved him coming out.
Yeah.
He's when he's on the court, he's a beast.
Hmm.
You can't move him off the block. He rebounds. He just cannot stay healthy.
It's a damn shame too, because I had
Yeah.
him. Was it last year? And I don't remember if he played or not. I just remember that he did have some eye-opening games
Yeah,
when I
no,
did have him on my
yeah. At the beginning
team.
of the year, I had him in a different league. I had him in a stats league.
Yeah.
He was rebounding, blocks, the shooting
Yeah.
percent. I mean, he was a beast, and then he got hurt,
Yeah.
and that was all she wrote.
Okay, so Jacob pairs up Precious Achiuwa with Isaiah Stewart, which they're basically the same player as far as I'm concerned. If I remember correctly, I think both of these guys were kind of undersized as centers, but they
Yeah,
hustle, they rebound, they block shots. They just go all out. They don't take any plays off. They're very good players.
yeah,
Uh,
and
n- Go ahead.
Stewart is actually somebody who I was hoping the Knicks were going to get last year at one point before they got Precious.
Yeah.
Because I just thought he would have been a really good fit. When they were looking for depth.
Well, it's a very interesting
Um,
combination here because, again, I like those two guys. I like them in their rookie class. I forgot if they were in the same rookie class or not, but I remember kind of keeping that in mind.
yeah,
Precious
they
Achiuwa
might
and
they might
Isaiah
have
Stewart.
been.
The other some of these other ones, let's see here. Well, Nikola Jovic goes in the 14th round to EJ's team, which I once drafted Nikola Jovic 1 year. Never again. He's a preseason darling, and then once the season starts, he's nowhere to be found. I don't know if this year will be different for him or not. Maybe it will be because the Heat
He's got a
kind of
nice
look
shot,
different
but
this
he
year. Yeah, that's
he
what I'm
don't
talking
he
about.
doesn't play on Miami because he doesn't play defense. That's all it is. I
Qualifies at
mean,
center. Wow.
yeah, he's got some center. I don't know how he's center eligible. I watch a lot of Heat games
Apparently,
down here, and I don't remember him playing center at all.
according to Hoops Hype, the depth charts, Jovic is starting at power forward for this Heat team, which is crazy to me.
That's where he's played the most. Is he going to start?
That's what it says, unless Jamie Jacquez or Kevin
Okay.
Love or this Highsmith player, I forgot what his first name was.
I know that they're high on Highsmith, but he again they're all kind of undersized. And with Bam, I mean, they're very
Yeah.
undersized.
And Thomas Bryant is also listed on this team, so maybe he's the size that you're looking for. Speaking of size, so Dave gets Mark Williams and Andre Drummond back to back. Pretty interesting pairing right there
Does
at the center
does
position.
does Dave have Embiid?
Dave, no, yeah, Embiid is with EJ.
Okay.
I, no, Dave, he kept Wemby.
Okay, no, because if I have Embiid, I would have definitely drafted Drummond at some point in the later
The
rounds
handcuff.
because yeah,
We talked about that, didn't we?
because
Like,
because Embiid he's gonna miss games.
did we talk about that though, James, really quick? About do we like handcuffing players? I thought we said we don't
I
because we
don't
only.
love doing it, but certain guys,
Yeah, okay,
I mean, Embiid is. If there's one thing that we know, Embiid is gonna miss a dozen games.
true
You know,
that. Nick, I want to
and
talk
and
about
when
Nick
he
Rich.
and when he does, if you can plug in Drummond, who will get himself 16 rebounds by missing 3 layups on purpose, that's going to be a nice stat sheet for you at least.
Quickly moving on to Nick Richards. You drafted him for you. You paired him up with Daniel Gafford. See, I got my centers out early, so I wouldn't have to deal with this. But Nick Richards is someone I was considering somewhere along the queue. I don't remember where exactly, but just because I knew that Mark Williams was going to be out, it was going to be Nick Richards' time, perhaps.
Yeah,
Is that what you were thinking as well?
absolutely. I like Richards a lot. He played well last year when Williams was out. And at this point in the draft, I'm looking at what's available, and I'm like, you know what? When Williams gets hurt, If I have any other injuries, then Nick Richards could be a nice guy that I could plug in there.
Well, I got my center, and this guy again, not to toot my horn, but Onyeka
I was considering him also,
Onyeka Okongwu of the
and
Atlanta
if
Hawks.
and again, if for the love of God, Felipe, the gods smile upon you this year, and the Hawks finally trade Clint Capella, as they've been threatening to do since I was 5 years old. It seems like, that could end up being an amazing pick for you because
I
I
hope
really
so.
like this kid.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had this guy near the top of my once those like that Jordan Clarkson left, and now I had to redo my queue, and I had him for like maybe 2 rounds or so, 3 rounds on the top of my queue, and I'm hoping to God that nobody noticed that he was still around, and uh, if I knew how to spell his name, I could get back to him. Oh well, I don't know how to spell his name. I could barely say his name, but I know that
He's in the 14th. Yeah, 14th. There he is.
yeah, Onyeka Okongwu. All I know is that he grabs rebounds and block shots, and that's all I ask for my big man. And then you get to DeAndre Hunter, the other. See, I swear to God, Alice is just copying me. Like I pick Kevin Porter, he picks Norman Powell. I pick Okongwu, he picks DeAndre Hunter. There's another one of those intriguing names that the Atlanta Hawks have. They have some intriguing players, and I
Uh,
don't know what the holdup is. I don't know where the disconnect is. DeAndre Hunter came with a lot of promise when he was drafted.
you know,
Um, Go
it's
ahead.
hard to get any kind of an offensive rhythm when your point guard is
Uh-oh.
shooting 25 times a night from
Uh-oh.
95 feet.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Knicks hater. Knicks
Huh?
fan hating on Trey Young. Unbelievable.
Listen, what am I talking about?
DeAndre Hunter is now listed as a backup small forward according to Hoops Hype. The
Uh,
rookie Risacher. I People are screaming at me.
have they made that a picture? I kept hearing that it was like a open thing, and
It might still be open. I'm just telling you what it's showing here.
uh,
So you tell me what if they're wrong or right. And then okay, maybe he could play power forward. Jalen Johnson's there. Maybe shooting
mhm,
guard. Bogdanovich is there. So I don't know where DeAndre Hunter is going to get these minutes and this potential, but it's not looking too well for him. And like you said, he might just have to get traded somewhere else to find himself a little bit. But
mhm.
it's kind of clock is kind of ticking for him, so we'll see.
I mean,
Uh,
does the Trey Young for Luka Doncic thing qualify as a bad decision on draft day?
oh my God. Well, let's face it. The That was more of a Mavericks pick than it was a trade. That's what the Mavericks wanted. Dirk is going to leave. We need another European player to take his place. I think that was more Dallas pushing to get that
No, no,
trade
actually, I
done.
mean Dallas pushed for it, but Atlanta, I don't know, a 6'3", maybe
Oh, Trey Young?
85-pound dude, wet, who
Hey man, he was a keeper player this year, okay? Leave him alone. Was he? He was kept, right?
was it?
I think so.
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's not on this list, so that means he was
No,
kept.
someone
Look at
kept
that.
him.
Who kept him?
I
Are
have
you
no
at,
idea.
are you asking me? Okay, let me
No,
see.
no, I don't even know who kept
All right, I can look that up on the other screen really quick as soon as my computer cooperates with me.
him.
Here we go. Angel Morales.
He's in Utah.
Yeah, so Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton. He has all the Tyreses. He's gonna get Tyrese Gibson on this team too. Trey Young, Franz Wagner, Jeremy Grant, Laurie Markkinen, Jalen Suggs, Grayson Allen, Jonathan Kuminga, PJ Washington, Jonas Valanciunas. Ooh, I don't like his centers. But just some notable players that are on Team Angel this year. So he is building around Trey Young,
What is Angel's team name? I don't even.
the Puerto Rican All-Stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
So
him.
Halliburton, Young. He's got
Yep.
all the point guards.
Yep. And of course, he has to have some Magic players and Jazz players like Wagner and Markkinen and Suggs.
Yeah, he sniped Markkinen from me in that round. I thought he was gonna
That's
come back.
yeah, we talked about it. Scottie Pippen Jr. going to Aaron's team. I'm gonna give it about a week before she realizes that she needs to drop the guy, or will Pippen stick around and contribute in fantasy circles this year?
Memphis? Again. I mean, he actually was surprisingly good in preseason and summer league this year.
Okay.
Looked like he,
Lots of players are good.
no, but I mean, he looked like last year I watched him and he didn't look like he belonged in the league.
Okay.
And this year, you could see some improvement. I don't know how much run he's going to get there. I mean, but if Morant goes down, who knows?
Oh, before I forget, who wins in a game of one-on-one? Scottie Pippen Jr. or Bronny James?
I put my money on Scotty.
Moving on. Anybody else do anything for you in this?
I like the
We,
Dalton pick.
yeah,
He can shoot. The Lakers need shooting desperately. Uh, so he might carve out himself a role there.
we get to the 15th round and Angel pairs up Dalton Connect or Dalton, yeah, Connect, right?
Yeah.
Connect four, Connect three. He pairs him up with Christian
Christian
Braun of the
Braun.
Denver Nuggets, sorry. Not too crazy for that with that pairing, but it is the 15th round, so
Yeah.
pickings are kind of slim.
I mean, apparently,
Uh,
Al Horford is still alive. Um,
he was buried on like deep in my queue. I only had him because just seemed like it was the right thing to do just to add him on my queue. But I made sure that he was buried all the way to the bottom because I want nothing to
uh,
do with him. Tari Eason, I know that was EJ's guy for a long time in these drafts. Is this the year that Tari Eason breaks out, or is just too many good players on that team for Houston Rockets?
yeah. I mean, I don't think he's better than Jabari.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
You know,
I don't see it either. Who picked them? Oh, Harry did. Harry, and
or
he paired them up with Derek Jones Jr., which if it was just a slam dunk competition or we kept track of slam dunks or spectacular slam dunks, maybe Derek
mhm.
Jones gets you some fantasy value, but I don't see it in this league. Corey Kispert, he just signed a major deal, so that must mean that he's going to get some run with the Wizards, right? Because they got to justify that money, right? Is that how
Well,
it
I mean, the
works?
Wizards again. They traded Avija.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly they are. I
True.
would assume at some point going to move Kuzma.
They're going to trade everybody, and who knows if they actually are happy with with Jordan Poole.
Uh,
Um,
I don't think anyone's happy with Jordan Poole, but
Isaiah Jackson's an interesting pick. That's a homer pick going to the Pacers fan.
mm.
Mike Harvey's team there. Stephen Castle. That might be my favorite pick from Aaron's team. And
That was a really good pick there. I
and that
thought.
was auto draft. She actually used all 6 hours to get
Was
that
it?
pick in. Yeah. So
I can see like at this point in the draft, this is where, like I said, I'm looking for these high upside young dudes. Castle
yeah,
was definitely in my
yeah.
queue there.
Auto pick or not, that's still a pretty darn good pick.
Yeah.
Brandon Clark's always intriguing to me. I just never know what his role is or what the playing time is.
Mm.
Situation in Memphis is with him. So I was not looking. He was nowhere near my radar. I ended up getting Mataz Buzelis of my Chicago Bulls. I figured, well, if I'm gonna do a homer pick, now's the time to do it. And let's get the wizard of the summer league on this Felipe team. Jacob going with Tyler Kolek, you going with Julian Strawther. I remember him. Last year's rookie class, I believe, right?
Cool.
Denver Nuggets. Julian Strawther, your guy.
I didn't No, that's not me.
That's EJ. Sorry,
That's EJ.
it's late. It's EJ's guy.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
know, I didn't even know who that was, honestly. The name looked weirdly familiar, but I couldn't remember.
yeah, he was. If I pull up my draft guide from last year that I wrote down for myself, I could figure out who it is. But
Mhm.
anyway, you got Terrence Mann, so that's the third guy that we were talking about when it came
Mhm.
who's going to replace Kawhi Leonard. So you're banking on him, which this late in the draft, that's not bad on your part. And
Yeah,
then
I just kind of looked at what was left, and I'm like, who's got a chance at surprisingly and maybe getting numbers, and that was kind of what I came up with at that point.
it's the wrong draft. And then finally, Mr. Irrelevant, Noah Clowney. I actually like that pick. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah. I mean,
Alrighty.
again,
And
it's the end of the draft, basically.
So apparently I haven't done a spreadsheet for the real NBA draft since 2021. I've been slacking, but it's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot
I
of
mean,
work.
you could lose your title list in your spreadsheets. I don't know.
Ah, man, I don't want to lose my title, but fudge, man. It's a lot of work. See if we can find them here. It's a lot of work to get this to make it look this good. So, what does all
Oh
this
my
mean,
God,
Felipe?
Isaiah Todd.
Yeah, I go balls out in these drafts. That's why. Anyway,
Oh
there's
God,
Ayo.
Sharif Cooper. Wow.
Oh wait, oh, right. I was hiding these names.
When I look back at these kinds of drafts of this kind of stuff, it just amazes me, and I'm sure you get the same thing with Bulls fans, but guys that, people in your Bulls groups would be like, oh, this is the guy we got to get. He's going to be amazing. And it's 3 years later, and, he can't even get a deal in China.
There's our guy Jalen Johnson. I was wondering where he was from. He went to Duke.
Yeah.
I forgot. Comparisons: Aaron Gordon, Rudy Gay, RJ Barrett. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I
No.
like any of those. 6'7" freshman. I'm looking for who was I looking for? Mr.
Strother?
Irrelevant. No clown. No, yeah, Strother. You're right.
Strother,
Yes.
I think was the name.
Yeah. There's Corey Kispert. He just got
Oh,
signed. Trey Murphy just got signed.
Moody.
Is he in this draft?
Moody's the other guy in Golden State.
Yes, I believe he also got signed
Yeah.
to a long-term
Moody's the other
deal.
guy in Golden State that, you know,
Huh.
like I said, Wiggins is, on his last leg out there.
Well, I could have sworn I had one for a recent draft, but apparently I might have been dreaming. And I could have sworn I saw Julian Strother's name. And right now that I'm looking for it, he's nowhere to be found. There's Kai Jones, JT Thor, this guy, Herb Jones. No, he's not on this one.
The starting center for the Pelicans.
Herbert Jones.
Yeah, supposedly.
Well, he's been playing center, even though he's kind of undersized. He's been playing center, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, Zion wants to play power forward. Herbert Jones has to step into the center position. That's just the way it goes. They also have this young kid. Sorry about that. They have this young kid, the Pelicans do, who might get some minutes because you need to give someone minutes at center.
Hmm.
Oh, this might be the spreadsheet I was looking for. I remember it was yellow, like a Coldplay song. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Come on, man. Don't fizzle it on me, man. Come on. Hey, there's Paul Reed. I just saw his name. Who's he playing
Uh-huh.
for nowadays? The Pistons,
The
right?
Pistons?
Paul
Yeah,
Reed?
he's on the Pistons now?
I believe so. Hmm. Maybe not. This doesn't look. Oh, there's Isaiah Stewart. We just saw him. Isaiah Stewart. There's Trey
Yeah, they were in
Jones.
that same. Yeah, Reed, Stewart. There's a bunch of them that draft.
Hmm. The hell? He's not on this thing either? The hell? No. Okay, I don't know what happened. Never mind then. Forget I said anything. But anyway, let's stop sharing my screen. I was talking about the Pelicans, right? They got this
Mhm.
backup center. Little there it is. Let's see who it is while that thing loads up. Eves Misi.
Is that,
Yves.
is that the French dude?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh he was getting some high praise when I was looking into him, so not saying I'm gonna
If
keep an eye
if
out.
he's the French dude that I'm thinking of from the French team, he's very physical. Can finish around the basket.
Yeah, he's
Um,
playing the backup
unless
role.
I'm mixing up my French dudes from the national team, but there was one dude who was a beast down there.
Might be him. I mean, Eves was being regarded as a just a force to be reckoned with and a giant specimen, and he should be starting over Daniel Teese and Herb Jones,
That's right, because Tice is on that team too. Yeah.
but they're gonna slow play this Eves guy, Eves Misi. And of course, there is no way. What if I just click on his name? What happens when I do that? Anyway, I don't know. My computer's saying that I'm working it too hard. Like, bitch, overtime. Let's go. Anyway, look him up. Yves
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Misi.
pretty if that was the guy that I think he was beating up a couple of the US dudes physically down
That's
low, if I recall.
that's saying something.
Yeah, and he was a load down there. And
And
he
that
and he
is,
got and he got playing time, if I recall. They ended up playing him over Gobert a lot.
oh, really? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Gobert's up there in age and a lot of wear and tear on them just because of the rigors of the NBA season. So I could see that happening. Let's see if I can look him up. I want to say he's like 7'3".
Mhm.
Let's find out. Yves Missi. Oh, Cameroonian. Born in Belgium, raised in Cameroon. Cameroon. 6'11", 236. Never mind then.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
he's got a pretty big wingspan, but he's a solid rock of a human.
yeah, and that's why I was reading some of the reports and it showed that they were high on him and that he should be the one starting. But we'll see because a lot of these international players, especially these young guys, it takes a while for that to kick in, for that NBA game to um, trigger and click for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from what I saw physically during the tournament, during the tournament there, he was holding his own with big dudes. I mean, you know,
Well, it may not be him. It says, according to his Wikipedia, he's from
mhm.
Cameroon. He is eligible to apply for citizenship in Belgium, where he was born. So if he's going to play with any team, it has to be the Belgium team. It doesn't say anything about his
As far as
international, so it
yeah.
might be somebody else. But hey, look it up. You tell me, and we'll report our findings next time we talk to each other.
All right.
With that said, you get the last word, James. Thoughts on anything about anything? Go ahead.
Looking forward to another great season. You know, this league is actually it's not my only basketball league because the other one I was in the points one I the categories one I just can't do it anymore. It was driving me crazy. I'm very much I have very much fallen in love with this version of fantasy basketball with the averages.
That was very controversial before you came
I
into
remember
the fold.
when you explained it to me the first time, I'm like, we're doing what? I was like, but I can be shot. I was like,
You didn't. I mean, what did you think when I mentioned this to you that it's not accumulation, it's by average? I mean, did
well, the
you?
first year, like I said, I inherited, you know, like my some of my guys.
Hmm.
So I wasn't quite sure. And that first year when I drafted here, I kind of drafted the way I normally draft, and it didn't work out that great. The only reason I think I did okay was because one of my keepers was Giannis, and you know, it's hard to lose consistently when someone is giving you 55 a 55 point average every week.
Right, right, right.
So he kind of covered up for some of my draft things, but no, once I kind of figured out, you know, how to draft in this format as opposed to others, I really liked it. It helps because, you know, like in the other formats, what I found was, you know, if you don't have the time to be making daily roster moves, you lose because you have those guys who just will make 14 roster moves on a Saturday or a Sunday to like pad their stats, you know, and it just becomes a thing where it's like, okay, this isn't skill. It's just, you know, I'm just gonna slap a 3 point guy in here because he's gonna give me five threes on a Sunday night,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
I
beat you
hate
by
that.
one category. You know, that's not
I just
skill. That's just accumulation. You know.
yeah, stat padding, and I that's the motivation um for going back to this format because I was doing this format for a very long time and just kind of lost my way of sorts. I just kind of
Mhm.
lost. Yeah, there was a falling out with the league I helped create a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember you had mentioned
Okay,
like
so
the only thing that's crazy about this is you know that sucks is like when they underreport something at the beginning of the week and then you've got somebody in your lineup and then he ends up not playing.
yeah,
When you got those iffy medical and you know then you can't move him at that point. You know that's the other thing where you kind of basically sometimes just lose a week because that
yeah,
team decided I
and
guess it's like in football, if you know, if you have any 49er players and you know, you can't rely on whatever reports they're coming out with that week.
it is a risk. It is definitely a risk, but that's the reason why we play these games is because we think we are going to outplay the projections and
Oh yeah.
we know what we're doing, and it gives you a chance to come as close as you can to running a real team. I mean, we're all trying to live the Adrian Wojnarowski dream, right? Being a general manager of a team. Okay, I found it. It was hidden in some other folder. I have a million folders. All right. I knew I did something. There's our guy, Julian Strother, Nuggets player. Gonzaga,
Gonzaga.
selected the 29th pick overall. Comps, Bojan
Bojan
Bogdanovic and
and
Morris
Morris
Peterson.
Peterson. My God, Morris Peterson. There's a
Yeah.
name.
Notes, he's an improving spot-up shooter, can create for others in spurts, adequate defender, but gets low steals and blocks, so, meaning he's not going to get you any steals and blocks, maybe half a game, half a
Hmm.
block and steal per game. So n not a very exciting player, but he's in the league because he could sh spot up and shoot the three. Everybody's looking for spot up shooters.
Hmm.
But man, 6'6", 209. I mean, you think that he'd be more than just a spot up shooter, but uh and okay, so I even ranked them. Okay, I just kept them at 29, but I actually had a system, unless this is wrong, where I was ranking them by, what do you call it? Fantasy, or maybe even, yeah, fantasy relevance, I guess. But
Hmm.
this looks like it's the same numbers. So never mind. This looks all the same. 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. Never mind. I thought I had done that, but I don't know what this FM, this is. I mean, these are my initials. I don't know what it stands for, though. I don't know what the hell I was doing. Anyway, so there's this. Oh, there's my guy, Bilal Koulibaly. Was that the guy you were talking about? French?
No, 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 no.
No,
He was a big dude.
never mind then.
Yeah, he was like a
Anyway,
6'10" dude that was on France this year. I can't remember his name now. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I know that several teams were interested in signing him.
no, the other French guy that shows up here is Victor Wembanyama. We know what he does. So yeah, this is and this might have been the last time I did prep work for the draft, but I wasn't gonna do it for this year. This draft class was just not doing it for me. Not, not like no, I don't need to know any rookies for this year. Maybe next year. Anyway, well, thank you so much for coming on board. I know it's super late. Sorry to keep you up at night, but I always enjoy this talk. I look forward to it every season. Every what would you call it? Preseason,
Preseason.
opening night eve, opening tip-off eve, as they try to start the NBA season earlier and earlier every season, which is always a scramble to get this league up and running. But I mean, between the slow draft and getting everybody on the same page and getting payments, and
Yeah.
it
Well,
could be hectic. But once,
I do love the slow draft thing.
oh yeah,
It can be, it's fun, it's engaging, everyone is like kind of active in it, people are coming in and out of work and, cracking jokes,
it's
complaining about people being stolen.
the one thing I would say is that it does provide the other owners more time than they deserve to make their draft picks. But I would counter this by saying, listen, in the real NFL draft, in the real NBA draft, they have
Mhm.
5, 10, 15 minutes to make those picks. It's
Yeah.
no different. Meanwhile, everybody's just there's like a buzz. There's a surge of energy in
Hmm.
that private chat, right?
Yeah. No, it's great.
It's awesome. It's builds camaraderie, and I don't know why more people don't do
Listen,
this. Like,
there's guys from this league that I chat with all the time about sports, even when we're not in the league thing. Me and EJ, have been going back and forth about things. We started joking in the chat. We've talked outside of the chat, things going, people going through personal stuff that we've gotten, involved with, Felipe. And,
that's right.
I consider all you guys friends, I was like, I joke around with you guys. Angel's on my posts. I got Corey, and things we're always joking around about stuff. It's more than a league. It's a nice, great group of guys. You know,
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, I want guys who can compete. I want guys who are knowledgeable, but I also want guys who get along with each other, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I've
good
gotten out
fits.
just like you. You've had some bad experiences in some leagues. I closed down the league that I had been running for like 12 years a couple years ago for football because the
Damn.
guys were just ridiculous. And it wasn't worth the stress. At one point, I was like, you know what? You guys want a different commish? Find yourselves a different commish. I can't, I can't deal with your craziness anymore. It's
Was your
supposed to be
guy?
fun. It's supposed to be fun, not stressful.
Yeah, and that even with a good group of guys, it can be stressful, but when you got everybody cooperating, I mean, and not asking you a million questions just to be snarky and
Right.
be trolling all the time. It's just it wears down on you, right? It's just too much, and it's like, can we just have guys who get along and can cooperate, and when it's go time, everybody's on the same page, you know? And I think for the most part in this league, when I say it's go time, I think you guys have proven that okay, what do we got to do to get this up and running? Because
Yeah,
we all want to come
absolutely.
back.
Yeah, no, like I said, this is one of the drafts that I look forward to the most. It's a lot of fun. You guys are great. Everyone interacts, whether in a good way or a bad way sometimes, but it's a fun group. It's an absolute fun group. Everyone jokes around, no one takes anything personally. Everyone knows that we're joking, everyone has a good time, It's like, we all like to make fun of each other's teams, it is what it is.
Yeah, and again, that's all what it's all about. So I wish Harry were here because I know that I would he's a new guy. I know
Hmm.
that him and Joe are sharing the roster,
Hmm.
but it's gonna be mostly Harry who's gonna represent the team. I wish he were here to kind of give us his thoughts on his first draft of this league, but obviously he couldn't make it. Otherwise, we would have been a
There's the
three-headed
dude,
monster.
number 26.
It is this guy,
Sure.
Matthias Lezort,
Yeah.
6'9".
He's an absolute like rock of a human being. He was pushing dudes around. Uh, I mean, he was pushing Embiid around like nothing. And
That's crazy to think about. Yeah.
yeah, Embiid's a big dude, and he could not move this kid.
Yeah, it doesn't even play 20 minutes a game though. Barely
No,
15
like I said, he's
sometimes.
young. He's young and up and coming, but there was a lot of teams that are interested in trying to sign him away from this
Jesus.
Europe team.
He looks like he's like 27, 28 years old.
Uh-huh.
He's only born in 95.
Yeah.
So what is it, 19? Yeah, 19. That's
Hmm.
crazy. Holy moly. He averages 7.2 points a game in this past Olympic. I think those are the Olympics.
Yeah.
What did he do against the US? 11 points, negative 7 plus minus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a
And
lot
if
of
you
learning
if
to do.
you if you watch the game, he was in that paint.
Oh,
He wasn't, necessarily grabbing the rebounds, but he was preventing the bigs from getting the rebounds, and the guards were sneaking in underneath them. He was just like a wall out there, and you could tell he was bugging the U.S. bigs, like they couldn't get in on him.
well, we are complaining about a shortage of centers, so maybe he'll be the
Hmm.
next big man that comes overseas and
Like
provides us some
and
fantasy help.
when you talk about talent evaluators, Leon Rose, they tried to sign him before the Olympics.
Oh, really?
And they couldn't work out a deal, and they tried to sign him after the Olympics, and they still couldn't work anything out. But he was available from the team over there.
All right, man.
And those are the kind of weird dudes that he finds everywhere, apparently.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, Jerry Cross made a career finding dudes that no one was keeping an eye on, nobody was paying attention to, and that's how we always outclassed the Knicks back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the Spurs, masters of finding guys that they drafted who,
Yeah.
and 2 years later it's like, oh, that dude,
Oh, that dude, yeah.
in the with the 55th pick in the
Yeah, they've it's the probably the smallest TV market in the entire NBA has been the gateway for international hoopsters to make it to this NBA league of ours. So it's just crazy to think that that's what it took
Mhm.
for international play to open up in this country. All right, man. I know I kept you
All
on
right,
for too long. Thank you so much. We'll talk next time. Have a
all
good
right,
one,
brother. Have a
everybody.
great night.